What is up? How's everyone doing today? Welcome to another Anti-Meta Anthony episode. How we doing? How we doing? Today, unfortunately, we're not doing any Riptide content. I know a lot of people always uh, are wanting to hear more and more on what the latest build of Riptide is. But today we're gonna talk about something different. Today we're in the age of Ninja. We're in the age of going wide for three, over and over and over. With Cindra being in the mix, a lot of people are talking about Cindra these days, but I think there might be a Draconic Ninja that people are forgetting about, and that is Phi Rising Rebellion. We're gonna talk about it a little bit today. We're just gonna chill a little bit before getting right into the deck tech. Just ask everyone how they're doing. I think for streams going forward, I think we're going to do like a little bit of a kind of like a debrief before we get right into the stream, just to kind of catch up with everyone. Usually we try to do weekly, but sometimes stuff will get in the way and I'll have to postpone the stream, whether that be like a couple days or a week. So apologize for the delay in between these 2 weeks, but it's been a lot of fun streaming and I hope to continue to do so for the H team and just everyone in general. Hopefully we can keep bringing some good content for you guys in terms of just these random decks that no one really talks about. But I'm here to help. So today we're going to be talking about Phi Rising Rebellion. Just a little insight on the deck. Why did I choose to build Phi or like look into Phi when Cindra just looks so good? So I was watching Brody play this deck on coverage, and I was like, wow, it looks really good because you're like doing three. You're going so wide, and the ability to block out Mask of Momentum is hindered by Flick Knives. So it's a pretty good, synergizing deck, I guess, is the easiest way to say it. And like with the Flick, you could gain a resource off Blood Spattered Vest and use this one resource to swing your dagger. Sometimes even like play Art of Dragon Fire, Blood, whatever it may be, just to kind of buff your attacks or manipulate that one resource into like a really big thing. So it's just overall a really nice aggro deck, and it got me thinking. It got me thinking real deep. I was like, what if Phi is still good? Like, what cards can Phi use? Because there's so many dagger cards that say, like, fling target dagger or on hit, flick the dagger and do 1 damage or fling both daggers on attack or whatever. And there's so much dagger support, but there are cards in the Hunted that aren't specific to daggers and just are Draconic Ninja cards or just Draconic cards in general that I think really help Phi in terms of making him more consistent. And he was already kind of a powerhouse. He won Worlds out of nowhere. He was kind of broken with Art of War. Without Art of War now, obviously he's very much less explosive than he was before. But I think with Mask of the Pouncing Lynx, his ability to always get 6 value on it with Shuko, sometimes even 7 with Spreading Flames, like it can definitely still be very devastating. And the new cards kind of go pretty hard with it too. Like there's just so many cards in the, now that like kind of manipulate resources like Ignite or Art of Dragon Blood. So I think he's got some pretty cool tools that can definitely help him. So that was kind of the inspiration. I always am a person that doesn't really like playing meta decks just because of the fact I don't like playing mirrors. I know that's like a really big stereotype. Everyone says that they hate playing mirrors, but I really do as well. Just because I like playing something different. I like playing not necessarily, I guess it is Dark Horse decks. I like playing decks where I can get an edge off people not knowing what I'm trying to do, which is awesome, right? Like that's why I love Riptide so much, because they just don't know what's happening or they don't know what kind of game plan I'm on, and that's really cool. That's why I love Dash IE for so long, just because Dash IE you can do the switchboard plan, so they don't know if you're pistol dash or they don't know if you're boost dash. So pretty cool. So I like playing decks like that. I like playing decks where it keeps my opponent in the unknown, and kind of gives me a little bit of advantage there. It may, hinder me because I'm not playing the best decks, but the element of surprise goes a long way, I think. So I wanted to kind of explore Draconic Ninja, but not Cindra, because everyone's already kind of digging their heels for Cindra. But I wanted to explore Phi, because he's an old deck. He was once good. He was less good because of Art of War, but surely with these new Draconic cards, he is a little bit better. So we're going to get right into the deck tech. I did bring this deck to an armory last week, so I have some funny stories about that. So I brought the deck and I needed a Rowdy Locals because I thought that card is awesome. It's a we'll go over it later too, but just for now, it's a blue block 3, cost 0, so you can swing it at the end of a chain, and it swings for 2. So it does importantly trigger Shuko, and it says when this is defended by an action card, it gets +2. So normally it's 2 or 3 off Shuko, and then +2, so 4 or 5 if it's defended by an attack action card. And if you have a card in hand, you can discard, and then they have to discard as well. So it's like a double discard. But the cool thing with Phi is that you can do this as a chain ender if you don't need the Phoenix Flame. And if they don't block, you just end resolution step you Phi. You get the Phoenix Flame back, and then once it hits, you discard the Phoenix Flame. They discard a card, so it's kind of like a pseudo discard effect, which is super cool. And I needed 3 of these, and I only had 2. So I asked my locals if they had any. Actually, my one friend who's super interested in my Marvel Cindra. He was like, I got you, man. We'll do the Cindra and we'll do whatever else if you have any trades. I was like, sure, let's do it. I show up. I'm going through his binder. He's like, it's here somewhere. It's in there somewhere. I'm just checking out the Cindra. And I go through his binder. I just don't see it. I don't see the Rowdy Locals. And I'm like, dude, what is this? Where is this card? And then we're like trying to figure it out. And it turns out he thought it was Nasty Surprise. Or he thought the card in his binder was Rowdy Locals, but it turned out to be Nasty Surprise. So that's another card we actually run in the deck, but we already had 3 of those. Nasty Surprise says when this is put into the graveyard by an opponent's effect, usually it's like discard or destroy, you get all 3 of the heavy hitters tokens. So you get an agility, a might, and a vigor. So pretty cool. There's some cool blues that Phi plays around with. So I was missing a third Rowdy Local, so I was just like scrambling to get a card just to make my deck legal. I know it's local, so it's no big deal, but I just wanted to play with a legal deck and see how it felt. And I wanted my ratios to test out my ratios mostly. So I opened my entry pack for the store gave, and I had a blue silver Talons in there, and it says something about a dagger, but it's a 0 cost blue block 3 that swings for 2. So trigger Shuko, but it has some dagger text that just isn't relevant. So I just put in my deck just simply as an extra blue, and it worked out pretty good. And then I played the whole night, and I was like, dang, this deck's not bad. Like it's kind of got some cool things that's working for it. And then I realized at the end of the night, I was complaining to him, my friend that didn't have the Rowdy Locals. I was complaining that I didn't get to test my deck at full power. And then I realized I didn't even bring snatches. Like, I have red snatch in the deck, and I realized I had been playing without them the entire night. And that was just super embarrassing. So, just a kind of a weird armory overall. I still went 3-1, which is not bad. Not bad for a deck that doesn't have one of the most powerful cards in it. But we're here to kind of showcase it today. So, we'll kind of get right into it. Hopefully, we can do a little bit better than the fiasco I had at the armory. But yeah, let's get right into the deck tech now. Hopefully, sweet, there we go. Hopefully everyone can follow along. And we'll kind of go over what new tools Phi has. We'll kind of go over some unique combos that, with certain cards in the deck. We'll probably be doing a lot of like, this card's really good with this card, and we'll move back and forth like that. And at the end, obviously, we'll try to get some gameplay in so you guys can see the Phi deck in action. I will be posting this in the chat as well. So if you guys want to try out the deck yourselves, I'll be posting this in the chat so you guys can try it out yourselves. But here is the Phi deck in the chat. As always, these decks that I showcased on stream are completely free, for public use. So if you guys want to take it, have some fun with it, take it for a spin or change it up, feel free. Hopefully, I can just inspire some people to play some cool heroes. So we're gonna get right into Phi here. So we're starting off with Phi, obviously Rising Rebellion. He is literally so close to Living Legend. I forgot where he was. I think he's like, he's not Zen. Oh no, actually, I think he's like one big tournament away from winning. I think he's ahead of Zen. I think he's at the top of the leaderboard. But yeah, he's pretty close. So it would be cool to kind of win a big tournament with Phi and then send him off into the promised land of Living Legend, where he can rightfully play Art of War, Belittle, all that good stuff. So we want to give him a good home, you know. So let's try our best to kind of retire him. So Phi Rising Rebellion, for the people that are unaware, you may start the game with a Phoenix Flame in your graveyard. So the first paragraph, or first sentence, I guess, of Phi is already super sus. So there's so much banish hate from graveyard right now with like people running Gravekeeping and people, you know, obviously new and all the card like those ones that banish the top card and then you can banish a card from graveyard and then heal if it's like the same name or color. Those are just good, like Passover as well and new Sacred Art. Like you can just banish the Phoenix Flame. So that's already super sus because you innately start off with this Phoenix Flame that's 1 damage in each turn. But if they early on, if they pass over it or you know do something about it, if they respond to your Phi activation by banishing it, it can be pretty nasty. Like you're gonna lose out on 1 damage, maybe 2 damage. Because of Shuko every turn, which is gonna suck. So we do play extra Phoenix Flames in the sideboard just to kind of get around that. But that first part is already kind of sus. But we're gonna make it work. We're gonna try to make it work. The good thing about Phi is even though the Phoenix Flame is really good in terms of incremental value turn to turn, he doesn't need it to nuke you. Like he can still do a lot of damage without it. And in a longer game, you'll definitely feel the burn of not having a Phoenix Flame. But in a quick, like, 4 to 5 turn game, which usually his aggro matchups are with links and everything, like, the damage you miss isn't going to be that crazy. What is up, Andrew? How's it going, man? Thanks for tuning in to my Phi deck tech. Hopefully we can showcase some cool Phi gameplay and synergies in the deck right now. So that first paragraph sus, and then for the second paragraph, obviously, it's once per turn instant. It costs 1 less for each Draconic chain you control, chain link you control, and then you can return that Phoenix Flame from your hand to your graveyard. So usually new will respond to, hey Dura, how's it going? How's it going today? Is that you, Gage? Welcome in, Gage, if that's you. Yeah, so usually new or any of the Mystic Heroes will respond to you getting the Phoenix Flame with Passover. But in the case that they, you know, try to banish it with Art of Desire, whatever, too, you could respond by just going to grab the Phoenix Flame. When it's not your turn, maybe, with a blue, if you want to trade the blue out to keep your Phoenix Flame in a longer game. There are ways for you to respond with, like, action speed banishes with Phi, because it doesn't... it's just an instance. You can do it whenever you want. It's once per turn, but you can do it whenever you'd like. So it's pretty good. So if you were in a pinch and you wanted to save your Phoenix Flame, you could. So it's not obviously not the best play because you're trading a blue, which like turns your Ember Blade, makes your Ember Blade harder to swing, and kind of your pitch curve with the deck is off. But sometimes when you need to save it in a longer matchup, you can just do that with the option there. So our equipment is, there is some new stuff in there, like Dragon Scale of Flight Path. There are some cool interactions with that we'll go over right now. But it's a pretty standard Phi deck, I think. You know, Tiger Stripe Shuko is always in there. Tide Flippers, just for the AB. Masking the Pouncing Link. So I know a lot of people play Kodachi Phi, or, you know, the Go Wide Phi with a lot of chain links. Well, this one's still a lot of chain links, but I'm going to play Ember Blade because I think it's just innately the most above rate weapon. When you're able to get it online with like a 0 cost, a 3, but I just think it's the most value, and in the race sometimes with the Spreading Flames it could become a 4 attack, and Kodachi is just really hard to make Draconic as well, and this deck kind of cares a lot about Draconic chain links, so you definitely want a Draconic weapon that is very good with Phi. So unfortunately he's not very good with the daggers, the ones that get banished. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a way to get it back unless you play retrieve cards, and most of the retrieve cards are Assassin Ninja Split, so they are not Draconic cards. So unfortunately, not a lot of dagger support for Phi, not as much as Cindra, obviously, but Emerald Blade's still good. And then we run Tunic and Flamescale Furnace. So Tunic's in there most of the time just to get the 1 resource. It's pretty good to start off the turn with Spreading Flames. It can make those 1 costs awkward when you have Ignite and you make another 1 cost 0 basically, and then you can use your Tunic to do another 1 cost if you wanted to. So Tunic's super good, blocks 1 at the end of the game too, so it's really insane. Flame Scales for most matchups we have to block and on hits matter. Just the extra temper 2 really helps in that way. Sometimes you can even like pitch a red to do a play, and at the end you can Flame Scale Furnace to Ember Blade with 2 floating because you have 2 reds. So pretty good stuff. And then we'll talk about Dragon Scale of Flight Path. So I think there was a question in the chat from Gage saying that I understand it's Battle Worn 1, but do you think it's functionally better than Snapdragon? So there's a give and a take with Snapdragons. I think Snapdragons will always work, obviously. So you don't have to go wide with Snapdragons. You can just play Snatch and then give it go again right away. But with this deck and focusing on Draconic Chain Links, the added benefit of having Battle Worn 1 will definitely matter. But there are some cool combos you can do with it. So it says, as an instant, it costs 3. Destroy this target Draconic attack. Gets go again. If it's a weapon or an ally attack, like probably referencing Dromai, you may attack with it an additional time this turn. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each Draconic Chain Link you control. So there are some cool combos you can do with this. Obviously, it can act as Snapdragons if you have a really wide chain and you're like, say you end with Lava Burst and you have a Snatch in hand, you could just Dragon Scalar Flight Path the Lava Burst to get go again and then Snatch at the end. In that regard, it's functionally the same as Snapdragons, but +1 block, which is, very, very good. But the cool thing is it also works on your Ember Blade. So in Ember Blade, when you swing for 2, if it's your third chain link, you can pay for this with, make it free, and now you can swing Ember Blade again. So if you have an extra blue in hand, you can pitch into Ember Blade and then pay for the boots, or don't pay for the boots if you have 3 Draconic Chain Links, and then you can swing Ember Blade again. And this is good on like Spreading Flames turns. This is also one of the best combinations in this card with this like sort of mini combo is if you have Tunic up, you can easily pitch a blue to swing twice because it's 2 the first time, free to activate the boots, and then you use your Tunic to swing 3 again with 2 floating. So you need a total of 4 pitch. But if you play Ignite, which makes your next Draconic card activation 1 less to pay for, you can do like Ignite, swing Emerald Blade for 1 with 2 floating. You activate the boots, and then now that you have 2 floating, you can swing Emerald Blade again. So there are ways to convert a blue in Fi into 6 damage, sometimes even 8 with Spreading Flames. So that's pretty good, pretty above rate. It is at the cost of your boots, but I think in these really fast matchups where you're stacking damage really fast, being able to convert a blue, which empowers your turn to swing Ember Blade already, into 6 damage instead of just 3 is pretty insane. And there's a lot of like cost manipulation with Fi or Draconic Ninjas in general, so it's going to be pretty fun to kind of showcase what the deck can do. But that's why it's in the deck, because the deck revolves around such heavy Draconic Chain Links, such wide Draconic Chain Links, that it's essentially the same thing as Snapdragon Scalers. It's a little less versatile with Snatch, obviously, and E-Strike, but there's so many Draconic cards in the deck that usually it doesn't matter, and the +1 block comes up so much. And then lastly, we have some tech for the Mirror, if anyone's daring enough to play Fi, or Cindra. So, Blazing Yoroi, I know it's a Dynasty card, so dig through your bulk, guys, if you guys have Dynasty still. It says, while Blazing Yoroi is defending on Chainlink 4 or higher, it gets +4, and it already blocks for 1. So, at the worst case scenario, you're playing Iron Rot Chest, or whatever, Plate? Iron Rot Plate, I think is what it's called. But best case scenario, you counter their Lava Burst, you counter their Breaking Point. This cleanly blocks 5, so against Cindra and Fi, that probably play both, being able to negate the value of a full Breaking Point with an on-hit or a Lava Burst is pretty good. And it's just innately getting 5 value out of an equipment piece. Like, that is almost carrying Husk levels of value. So it's in there as tech. It can easily slot out if you don't think your meta has a lot of Cindra or Fi. Into like an extra piece of Null Rune if you think it's Kano, Spell Void if you think it's Kano, if you think that you want to play Mask of Momentum too, if your matchups are really grindy, you want to play Mask of Momentum over Lynx, that could probably be good as well. But yeah, there's a lot of ways you can manipulate the sideboard. I think every other equipment besides Blazing Yoroi could probably has to stay just because it's so important. But if you had 1 slot to play with, it would definitely be Blazing Yoroi, whatever you want it to be. If you really want Snapdragons, just to make sure Snatch has Gogan always, you could do that as well. But I think with the fealty tokens that you can make and the Brand Cinder Claw, I think it's enough. How much Spell Void are you running? I am not running any Spell Void. My Spell Void slot is going to be Blazing Yoroi. Like I said, I think if you were really scared of Kano, you would run... this deck looks so juiced. Thank you, Valerio. Gage says good. Yeah, so I'm not running any Spell Void at the moment. If you're really scared of Kano, I would run Tide Flippers and then either Spell Void in the chest piece or another AB in the chest piece. Personally, I probably would play Spell Void if I think it's a lot of Kano. But I think Cindra is a little bit more popular in my area, so I'm playing Blazing Yoroi as a counter pick to that. So we have AB1, we have the blues to support it. If they blow us up, they blow us up. You know, it's not much we can do sometimes against Kano. So that's the equipment suite. We're going to go into the main board deck, and then we'll go over sideboard pieces as well to kind of go over what it's all about. Okay, so the first card that we're going to go over is Art of Dragon Blood. So this is one of our fealty targets. What it says is when this attacks, if it's Draconic, so you can play this after Brand with Cinderclaw, or you can play this with just a fealty token. It says this has go again now, and the next 3 Draconic cards you play this turn cost 1 less. So that's one of the best starters if you have a fealty. So you play this, you play Art of Dragon Blood, and if you notice, there's a lot of 1 costs in this deck that kind of that are targets for Art of Dragon Blood and Ignite. So you have obviously Mounting Anger. You're able to play these blues. So I guess let me start with Cindra. So Cindra is able to play these 1 costs because she's able to get a resource off Blood Spattered Vest, whereas Fi is able to play these 1 costs because he plays blues in order to and to additionally get value from playing blues and these 1 costs. You're playing Emberblade because you play the 1 cost, you play your Emberblade, and then you finish off with a 0 cost Phoenix Flame and then Lava Burst. Typical 5 turn cycle. So they're kind of using these 1 costs in different ways. Cindra kind of using them as a resource cheating off her Blood Spattered Vest, whereas Fi is kind of leaning into the 1 cost playstyle with his blue count. Also, the blues are a little bit better against ice if Jarl is a problem in your meta. And then he's able to lead kind of with these resources. If he has 2 floating, he's able to manipulate the 2 floating a lot better than Cindra can in terms of how the decks are built. So Mounting Anger, Spreading Flames, and Soaring Strike are all 1 costs for go again. Spreading Flames being 3, but it kind of buffs your entire turn. And you're able to play these out for free, essentially, with Art of Dragon Blood. So very often this card, might just be a 3 block or a 0 for 4 in your deck, but it's pretty good innately with just those stat blocks at the bottom. You can make it a chain ender if you need to, or you can block 3 in worst case scenario. But if you have that fealty token, you have a couple 1 costs in your hands, it really is just a stronger Oath of Loyalty because it's 0 for 4 go again, it blocks 3, and it makes your next 3 Draconic cards that you play, not that you activate. So Emberblade does not cost 1 unfortunately, but it makes all those for free. So a typical combo would be like fealty, Art of Dragon Blood, Mounting Anger for free. And then, if they let it hit, they're probably going to block it because they don't want you to get the +1 value. And then you just get to continue your turn. Just keep in mind, it's very important to count the chain links after Art of Dragon Blood. So if you're looking to end on like a breaking point or a 1 cost that you want to make Draconic again, make sure that that 1 cost that you're ending with, so like breaking point or censor or something, is the 3rd chain link, or 1 through 3 in terms of a chain link. For Art of Dragon Blood. So just keep in mind, like, it has to be Art of Dragon Blood, Mounting Anger, random attack, 1 cost. So you could do like Art of Dragon Blood, Mounting Anger, Brand with Cinderclaw, and then now that the next attack is Draconic, it'll cost 1 less, so you could play stuff like Breaking Point and stuff like that. You will lose value on your Phoenix Flame because if you did Phoenix Flame after the Brand, you would lose out. You would lose out on the cost reduction because of Art of Dragon Blood. But in Fi, you're happy just to Arsenal it sometimes too. So like hit him with Disruption, Phoenix Flame, grab it, and put it in Arsenal. So it's gonna be 1 damage next turn anyway. So this card is a really big enabler. If you don't have Fealty, most of the time, if you don't have Fealty or Brand with Cinderclaw, this is gonna be a block card, or it's gonna be a 0 for 4 to end your chain. And then going on to the next few cards, we got Blaze Headlong. Enough said about that card. This card has been terrorizing Limited, terrorizing CC. Just a 0 for 4 go again in most Draconic heroes. It's the easiest thing ever to play a red card in Draconic heroes, so no struggle with that whatsoever. Next we got Brand with Cinderclaw. So we're playing 3 reds and 3 blues. So our blue base is a little bit, it's like 8 blues right now, I think. Yeah, 8. So we got 3 Brand with Cinderclaw, 2 Nasty Surprise, and 3 Rowdy Locals. So I'm kind of still toying around with the number of blues. I think 8 is kind of like the number I want to stay at. I don't want to always draw a blue, but I do often enough have a blue to just empower some turns. But more often than not, the most strong turns that you have in this deck don't involve blues at all, with like Spreading Flames, cost manipulation off Art of Dragon Blood. You want all those 1 costs in your deck. So the most efficient lines don't always include blues, but they're there kind of as a failsafe to swing Emberblade if you'd like. and also they block mostly for 3. Brand New Cinderclaw is a little bit more of a utility blue, where it's a pitch card and it turns on a lot of these non-Draconic cards like Art of Dragon Blood. And then, yeah, it's just pretty good cost curve, I think, right now. I would say, depending on your meta, if you expect a lot of Wizard and expect a lot of Jarl, you could probably go up in blues, probably closer to 9 to 12. I do have 3 more blues on the sideboard with Warmongers, so you could technically just play this deck and go up to 11 blues anyway. But it just depends. Fly is flexible like that, where you can play more blues because of the cost curve. So if you think that you need a little bit more ice, you can go that route. But yeah, Brand New Cinderclaw, obviously a very good card. Probably the best 0 for 3. Just because it turns on so many Draconic cards. This is obviously very good too. We'll talk about it later with Oath of Loyalty. Oath of Loyalty says that you have to play only Draconic cards. So Brand New Cinderclaw enables these non-Draconic cards to be played alongside Oath of Loyalty. So that's a pretty good combo. Next we got Display Loyalty. This one is basically a Level of Vein Loyalty that blocks 2. But instead of just getting innately go again, it says when this attacks a hero, it gets go again, and it creates a fealty. So creating fealty is not really important in 5, but it does turn on a lot of abilities, like Art of Dragon Blood, like I said before. So having 1 or 2 sometimes is pretty good, just because it enables that turn and gets those Draconic chain links in. So this is a very good utility, just 0 for 3 go again if you have a second chain link. I wish it blocked 3, but I think it would be too broken if it blocked 3. Next we have Fire Tenant Strike First. This is a 0 for 4 that can combo really well with Blaze Headlong. So if you play this and then Blaze Headlong actually comes in for 5, which is like an insane breakpoint because it gets around Sink Blow as well. And it is not a Draconic card in itself, so that's like the main bad thing. You can't just Fire Tenant Strike first and then play Emberblade after this. So I've done this several times on in person in Talishar. I feel like this should be a Draconic card in terms of the art. Like, obviously, balance-wise, if this is a Draconic Ninja card, it would be busted. But in terms of the art, like, the dude is literally, like, hitting him in the face with lava. Is that fire? Like, fire, I guess. But, like, that is one of the craziest non-Draconic cards of all time. And I always get confused by it because sometimes, like, it's kind of like the Entwined Lightning thing, where you, like, fuse with Entwined Lightning, you wait. Entwined Lightning is a elemental card, not a, not a Draconic card. I've lost too many times from looking at the art and assuming it's an Earth Ice card. Yeah, like you pitch the Oakenhold fusing and you reveal like 2 elemental cards and your opponent's like, so for 7? And you're just like, facepalm, game over. I played around cards that don't exist. But yeah, it's pretty awkward sometimes, so you just have to manage it. It's a very good, it's essentially a 0 for 4 and 5, just because the Draconic attack is going to be coming next turn. So the easiest combo to do it with is Blaze Headlong. But you can do stuff like Fire Tenant Strike and then play Mounting Anger. And it buffs your Mounting Anger to 5, which is super annoying to block. And then if they don't block the Mounting Anger, you get the plus additional damage too. So obviously, it's just a very good staple ninja card in any Draconic deck. You have Lava Burst as well. Classic 5 card. This is most of the times your Lynx target. You just have to be wary about when to search for this guy. If you think that you might draw a Lava Burst and then now you're losing value on Lynx, you might want to go get Lynx right away or use Lynx right away. Usually when you use Lynx, you want to get at least 6 value. So typical turn is like 3-3-3-3 and then just Phoenix Flame, Lava Burst for 6. So that's like the baseline value that you should strive for. But there are times where you play Lava Burst or there are Fire Tenant Strike first. There are times where you can get additional damage off of it. Most of the times it's just Spreading Flames. But if you can ever bump that value and make that mask worth 7, sometimes even 8, I would definitely take it right away. I don't think you should ever strive for 5. 5 is kind of like the worst value you can get out of it with Lava Burst. But you should definitely strive to always try to get 6, at least 6, just because it feels like that's like the baseline with Shuko. And then you got Ignite. So these are one of the new cards that I can play with as well. So this is good in Cindra because she plays it and she can activate, swing her dagger. She can play a 1-cost card from her hand. So like Ignite into Art of Dragon Fire is really good in Cindra. In Fi, this is a little bit different. So in Fi, this allows you to do like the Emberblade combo, like I said before. So you can do like go again attack, Ignite, swing Ember Blade, and now Ember Blade costs 1. So you have 2 floating. Since you can activate the boots for free, since you have 3 chain links, and then you can swing Ember Blade again for a second time. So you can make a 3-card hand with a blue, essentially go 3-2, 3-3-2 because of the Phoenix Flame. So if you do a 3-card hand with Ignite, a 0-for-3 go again, and a blue, that's essentially really quick math in my head, 13 value, 3-card 13, which is pretty good for 5. Pretty good for 5. That's like almost like turning into like a Lava Burst turn too, like with the 0 cost of blue and the Lava Burst at the end. So pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff, I think. Yes. Other combos with Ignite too. Sorry, I thought I saw something. Other combos with Ignite include like stuff like Mounting Anger, obviously very good with Ignite if you don't have a lot of blues in your hand. You can play Ignite into Mounting Anger for 4 with no cost because it costs 1 less. You can do it with Soaring Strike to give attacks go again that otherwise don't have go again. So if you have E-Strike in your hand, if you have Snatch, they can get go again from Soaring Strike. So Ignite is just a really big playmaker in terms of allowing combat chains to go wider and these 1 costs to be kind of cheated out. So you can do it with Spreading Flames as well. You can make those 1 costs 0 cost. So pretty cool card. I think it's well designed. It also triggers Shuko, which is important. It swings for 2, so your Phoenix Flame will come in for 2 later. So super important card. I really like it. There are some cards in the sideboard as well, like Breaking Point and Censor and Flame Call Awakening that are also affected by this card that often get sideboarded in. For my sideboard, I really like doing like a baseline, like cards that always basically go into every matchup, and then kind of add to the sideboard is how I do it. So it can look a little weird. The sideboard might always be a little bit bigger, but hopefully you guys are just following. So Mounting Anger, we talked about it. It was good in 5 last time. It's still good now. It's a 1 for 5 sometimes. And most of the times, this is the card where people block because they don't want to give 5 that extra value. This is pretty nasty. When it hits 2, you can give like 0 cost 4s plus 1 damage. So like you can end the turn by swinging like a Snatch for 5, which is insane. You can banish your Mounting Anger, or you can banish a Lava Burst. And if it's like Phoenix Flame Lava Burst, it would have been for 6, but now it's for 7 because of Mounting Anger and Shuko. So there are some pretty nasty combinations for Mounting Anger. This is like basically the card where usually you're not blocking against 5 because there's no on hits, but this is one of those cards where you have to block because if you don't, you get the +1 value. It's so nasty sometimes. Makes a lot of stuff harder to block down the line. Oath of Loyalty, we talked about a little bit before. Oath of Loyalty is one of the new starters that Fi gets. Came out in the Hunted, and it's really good. But the downside is that you have to play all Draconic cards to keep it going. So if you draw several of these Oath of Loyalties, it has to be also the first action you take on your turn. So you can do any instances, anything like that, but the first action of the turn has to be Oath of Loyalty. So if you have several Oath of Loyalties, you can't play them both. But this is a good... It blocks 3, which is insane already, and then it's a 0 for 4 starter. So usually 5 starts off with a head jab. Now you get access to a 0 for 4 starter. So if they don't block this Oath of Loyalty, you get to pound, use links right away, which is insane. And it's just a really good starter, I think, for the deck. It does struggle sometimes when you don't have a lot of Draconic cards. So if you have like a Art of Dragon Blood, you can't play that. If you have Fire Tenant Strike First, Snatch, you can't play that card. But with fealty tokens and 6 copies of Brand with Cinderclaw, we're able to manipulate it often enough to where it negates the downside of playing only Draconic cards because we're able to make these generic or non-Draconic cards Draconic in the end. So just innately a super versatile 0 for 4 block 3, which is insane. It's funny that the new additions to the deck are all 0 for 4 block 3s, which is always awesome. Love how much art Typanus is on in the set. Yes. He's like the Fire Lord, right? Is he like the general? Is he a general or something? I'm not caught up on the lore for Typanus. But I would assume that he's like some sort of general. He is an adjudicator of the courts. Completely different from what I was thinking. But okay. He sounds like a powerful person, at the very least. So he probably has a lot of jurisdiction, I guess, in Volcor, so he's probably very fittingly on several cards where people are either looking up to him or he's doing something very important. Next we have the Phoenix Flame, the 1 Phoenix Flame that's in our deck. We start with this in our graveyard. We don't know, we just know he's a judge. Okay, judges are very good, very powerful beings in both Wraith and I guess real life Flesh and Blood too. Phoenix Flame, it can be recurred off 5 hero ability, and it's just super good. If you just run several of these, you can recur them with Flame Call, Awakening. There's some cool combos that we can do later on that I'll show you with having several Phoenix Flames. Unfortunately, we don't have Phoenix Form in the deck, but there are some cool combos you can do with the extra Phoenix Flames that we'll go over once we get to the sideboard. Brooding Renegade and Rising Resentment, they're both just Draconic head jabs, extending the chain. Rising Resentment does have an on-hit where if you play this as, Chain Link 2, it does have an on-hit of banishing a card and making it cost 1 less. So if you can play Rising Resentment second, it does threaten the on-hit of banishing a 1 cost, another cost manipulation thing. Usually it's super easy to block because you just throw a 3 block on top of it. I was toying around with Ancestral Empowerment just a little bit when first making this deck, sort of similar to Cindra, but I think with Oath of Loyalty and how important Draconic Chainlinks are, N5 is also running a little bit more of a they're a little bit more generic cards in the deck. You don't want to be really expending your fealty, especially because it's harder to make in 5 than it is in Cindra, because he doesn't have the on-hit fealty. You definitely want to use fealty on power cards like Art of Dragon Blood or Censor at the end of targets, just to play at the end of like a loyalty turn. So making stuff Draconic is very important in 5, and you won't get as many fealty, so you definitely have to use it wisely. But if you have 2 head jabs, always play this one second, because more often than not, they might think about blocking, which is always good against 5, because anytime they block, it feels like you have all the tempo in the world, because you just took one card out of their hand, and now you have all the space in the world to kind of do more damage next turn too. Snatch, always a good card in any aggro deck, specifically good in this deck because it's a good chain ender, similar to Lava Burst. It doesn't get the value off Shuko because it's too high attack. You could run the blues if you want, but I'm already using my block 2 blue as Brand with Cinderclaw. But this one is a good chain ender because it's one of those things where Fi is really good at doing a bunch of damage and then ending the turn with some sort of debilitating on-hit where he either benefits from it a lot or he tries to stop you, like Warmongers, for example, from doing stuff. So it's really good as a chain ender. Sometimes it matters when you make it Draconic. So say it's like a head jab into Brand with Cinderclaw into Snatch. So now you have 3 chain links. So now your boots are turned on. You can make Snatch have go again. And this is where the boots is actually better than Snapdragons, because what you could do is that you can do this line and then have 3 chain links, and then you can layer the on-hits if Snatch hits. You can layer the on-hits to where Snatch draws first, and then since the boots are instant speed, you can give this go again in resolution step. So say it's like you draw a card and it's Lava Burst. You're like, obviously I want to give this go again. You can't do that with Snapdragons. So you have to do it beforehand in attack reactions. But with Dragon Scale of Flight Path, you can give this go again in resolution after knowing what you draw. So say you draw blue, obviously not a very good card. You probably don't want to Snapdragons it or give it go again because it won't extend your turn that well. But if you draw Lava Burst, you're able to kind of continue the turn in resolution step after everything's resolved too. So pretty cool synergy with the new boots. I think the new boots are very, very much so needed to play this deck. It's not the end of the world if you play Snapdragons, but there's so many cool combos you can use with the new boots, and it blocks 1. Like, it's just so worth it. It may be a little bit expensive right now because of Cindra, but I think if you can find yourself a good trade or some means to grab a boot, grab the Dragon Scale of Fight Path, you definitely should. All right, going into Soaring Strike. So Soaring Strike is another of those 1 cost 4 attacks with go again. It's another chain starter. Why no Rake Over Coals or Rake Over Coals? Not sure if you meant to do both options as Rake Over Coals. But I don't like playing instances in Fi like that, just because you're essentially trading 1 card in hand for no chain links at all. And this deck matters so much about chain links. Drop of Dragon Blood. Yes. So I thought about Drop of Dragon Blood too. Currently testing without the deck, without the card. But the 1 resource may not matter as much in Fi, just because you're already playing the blues. So I just kind of want to make the deck as consistent as I can. It's really good in Cindra because it innately, she plays all red, so innately 1 resource will translate a little bit better. But in Fi, Drop of Dragon Blood may be like kind of overkill sometimes with the blue in hand. A lot of the time you might end with 1 phony anyway, because it might be just head jab, head jab, head jab, Searing Ember Blade, your Phoenix Flame is free, so the Drop of Dragon Blood might not matter. But definitely can be worth testing. I think there is space to do it. I don't want a lot of non-blocking cards because one of the strengths of Fi is actually blocking very well. Just because there's so many 3 blocks in the deck, and being able to play this mid-range game of like block with 1 or 2 cards, then you see on the 3 card like 13, which is insane. So, yeah, I think Fi can kind of turn into mid-range if you wanted to, whereas Cindra kind of has to step on the gas pedal, and Drop of Dragon Blood is kind of like the all-gas hand where you kind of just have to go super wide with chain links. But it also is not a chain link itself, Drop of Dragon Blood, or what's it called? Rake Over the Coals. Also, it's a little bit better in Cindra because if you draw blue off the Drop of Dragon Blood, it necessarily doesn't translate into more damage, right? Whereas Cindra, if she's playing all 0 for 3s or 1 for 4s, the Drop of Dragon Blood would be really good because it just it always basically translates into 3 damage, which is pretty insane. But for Soaring Strike, it's a 1 for 4 go again. It's a chain starter. It does have the cool interactions with Snatch and also E-Strike, where if this hits, more often than not, they're not blocking this one just because it's not mounting anchor. And then you can give your Snatch go again. If it's your Snatch, you can banish it right away and play Snatch right away so that it has go again. And if they don't block, you have as much information as to how your hand can kind of function as possible. So there's a lot of utility with the Soaring Strike. It's discounted if you play it after Art of Dragon Blood if it's made Draconic, or if you play it after Ignite. So there's a lot of cool synergies with that. We want to play all these 1 costs that can be manipulated off the resource management or the resource kind of cheating off Ignite and Art of Dragon Blood. Next we have Spreading Flames, obviously a very cool combo card. It is not a 1 for 4, unfortunately it's a 1 for 3. It kind of is made up by Phoenix Flame though. Because Phoenix Flame does get the +1 value later because, you know, it's 0. So no matter when you Phoenix Flame after Spreading Flames, it'll always get the +1. So it already kind of feels like a 1 for 4 because of Phoenix Flame. But it's such a cool combo where you can play Spreading Flames off resource cheating like Ignite or Tunic, and then you can kind of follow up with such a wide chain link. Like if you play Spreading Flames off Tunic and then you play Art of Dragon Blood, or if you do it the reverse way, Art of Dragon Blood, Spreading Flames, Mounting Anger, blah, 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 blah. It's so nasty. It's like, it's the only Art of War left in the deck, unfortunately, but it is also a chain link itself, so it's really good. At the very worst, you can play Spreading Flames and Ember Blade, 0 cost, Phoenix Flame, and then if it matters, you can Lava Burst. And that's where you kind of get the 7 value from. So if you do Spreading Flames into Head Jab into Head Searing Ember Blade, that's for 3. And then if you Phoenix Flame, that's for 2 because of Spreading Flames. And then if you Lava Burst, it would be for 6, but now it's 7 because of Spreading Flames and Shuko. So that's when you kind of get 7 damage off your links. That's when it's the most value, when you can combo it as a Shuko target and as a Spreading Flames target from the +1. So that's where you kind of try to get the most value off links. That's the most ideal solution or scenario for links targets. There are times where you could double Spreading Flames, but that's very uncommon just because there's a lot of disruption in the game now with Assassin and stuff. So not often do you get to keep a 5-card hand with Spreading Flames. And then you're running out the blues with Brando's Claw. You got 3 Rowdy Locals and 2 Nasty Surprise. So Rowdy Locals is the better one, obviously. It combos really well with Phoenix Flame at resolution speed, or instant speed. So what you do is you can swing this at the end of a chain. It'll get I explained it before, but +1 from Shuko if you play it after Phoenix Flame or after like an Ignite or something. So it comes in for 3. It gets +2 if it's defended by an action card. If this hits a hero, you discard a card. If you discard a card, they also discard a card. So you can wait to Phoenix Flame, and then once this hits, in resolution, you get the Phoenix Flame. Discard the Phoenix Flame because whatever, you lose out 1 damage. But then you're able to discard, and then they're forced to discard a card as well. So super cool card, versatile card. In the end, like you can just if you just play this as a Phoenix Flame, or if you use your Phoenix Flame beforehand, you do Phoenix Flame into this for 3. If they have to block because they're low, if they block with an action card, it gets buffed to 5. So they have to give you 2 cards instead of 1. So it's pretty good. Really good utility block 3 that has actual text in Fi. And then Nasty Surprise, it's just a fun meme card. It's 0 for 2. Honestly, you could play any sort of card in here. I will say though, if you're playing Flick Flack, I'm not. If you're playing Flick Flack, the combo cards that are 0 for 2, 0 for 2 with 3 block, those are a little bit better because it works with Flick Flack. So I would play stuff like Winds of Eternity, Dishonor, Crane Dance. I guess not really Crane Dance because it does 1 for 2. Fine Center, all those 0 for 2 block 3s that are blue. I would play those if I'm playing Flick Flack, but I'm not playing Flick Flack, so I get to play these cool generic cards. So it's pretty cool. This one says when an opponent's effect puts this into the graveyard, create an agility, might, and vigor token. So it's all the heavy hitters tokens. So usually this is like you arsenal and they CNC you, or if you get Codex, you can discard the Nasty Surprise so that you get all 3 of the tokens. So there's some pretty cool, fun interactions that you can do with this, which is super cool. Unfortunately, if an assassin banishes it, it doesn't trigger. It has to be into the graveyard, so it has to be some sort of like discard effect like Pummel. I know the topic of Pummel being ignored is a huge thing these days, but this is a card where not ignoring the Pummel will help you. You know. Being able to discard it to get some value out of there. Sweet. I want to go right into the inventory here, the sideboard. Got some spicy cards in there. Start off with Breaking Point. So this is basically CNC that doesn't cost 2. In 5, you're getting to Chain Link 4 pretty easy. So there's some cool combos you can do with this. You can do stuff like Head Jab or Oath of Loyalty into Swing Searing Emberblade, and then you can play Ignite. Now you have 3 chain links. And then Breaking Point would be free. So you could do stuff like that. You could do 2 0 cost, Emberblade, and then Breaking Point, and then get Phoenix Flame. So there's a lot of ways to kind of manipulate resources with this. You can also just do, like, not without the blue, you can do 0 for 3 into Breaking Point. No, sorry. 0 for 3 into Ignite into use Phoenix Flame, because the Ignite would make 5 hero ability cost 1 less. And then if you have Tunic up, you can just Breaking Point for like a 3 card Disruption hand, which is super easy to have with 3 cards in Ignite. Still innately, you get 3 off the first attack. You get 2 and 2 because of Shuko. So that's 7. And then you get a Breaking Point for 5. So that's 12 value off Tunic, an extra resource. And with an on hit at the end too, so it's pretty good stuff. Breaking Point, very good in 5, especially with the way resources can be manipulated now with Ignite and Art of Dragon Blood. Censor, another 1 for 5. So there is a reason why I don't play CNC in this deck, just because it's a little bit costly. It doesn't line up with the curve well, and more often than not, I find myself I kind of want to play into the theme of the deck and Emberblade. I don't want to never not Emberblade, because Emberblade's so efficient. It's like a 2 pitch for 3 damage go again trade off, and you want to Emberblade as much as you can because it's this constant source of a free head jab. So Censor falls into line with that a little bit more. You could do stuff like 0 for 3, Emberblade, Phoenix Flame, 1 cost Censor. You can also, if you have a fealty token out, you can play Ignite before Ignite resolves, pop the fealty, just because if you do pop the fealty after Ignite resolves, the fealty will eat up the Ignite because it's a Draconic card activation. So you have to remember to activate fealty in response to Ignite. Fealty will resolve because the next card you play, so Ignite's already been played, so it won't work on Ignite, will be Draconic. So Ignite will see the next card is Draconic, and it'll cost 1 less. So make sure you guys get that interaction down. So it's another one of those targets for fealty. And Censor's super good in this meta. There's so many power cards in this meta. You can name Mordretide against Viscerai, Arc Lightning, or like Channel Lightning Valley against Aurora. If you play against Enigma, you can say Miragai. There's just so many power cards that are staples in heroes that are popular. So being able to name those cards is just pretty insane. I wish it says can't pitch or play, so you can name Inner Chi, but they probably thought of that and are just keeping it to just playing the name card. So in my opinion, if you don't know what to name, just name Erase Face, because other on hits may not matter against you, or Erase Face will definitely matter against you because it'll turn off your Draconic hero. So just a thought: if you think a deck can play Erase Face against you, just name Erase Face, unless it's like obvious that you know what they have. Erase Face can always screw up your turns. You can always eat like a CNC if you don't have an arsenal, but Erase Face is good no matter what against Fi. You have E-Strike as well. This is one of those Soaring Strike targets. And also a really good combination with Flamecall Awakening, Phoenix Flame. So I guess I'll talk about them both. So if you play like a red card and then into Flamecall Awakening, so say you play Ignite into Flamecall Awakening, you can go find your Phoenix Flame. And if you have E-Strike, you can bottom that same Phoenix Flame that you just tutored in order to kind of recur it into the deck. So the future Flamecall Awakening can grab it again. And you get the innate cost of Inline Strike handled. So you could do like Ignite into Flamecall Awakening into E-Strike for 7. So that is a 3-card 12 again off of just 3 cards. So there are some pretty cool interactions with that. E-Strike is just a really good mid-range tool too. There's a lot of decks now that kind of disrupt you so heavily. So being able to kind of de-react out, and then your 2-card hand could be just E-Strike for 7, or if it's like an aggro matchup, you can E-Strike for 5 and then draw a card for Arsenal. There's a lot of ways to kind of manipulate E-Strike in this deck, especially with those Phoenix Flames. So being able to recur it back over and over is really good. Just a very versatile card. Blocks 3, always been good in Fi. And with the added effect that if you play any deck that innately can give E-Strike go again pretty easily, like Soaring Strike, it's just super good because you can just sink a card and draw a card. So it's a 0 for 5 go again, which is insane. Especially in decks where drawing a card usually replaces itself, just because of the amount of head jabs in this deck. It can definitely be very worth it. So like that's why Aurora plays it so well, because you can Lightning Token and E-Strike for 5, draw a card with go again. So there's a lot of cool combos you can do with E-Strike. Next, we'll go into kind of like the more defensive / like disruption package. So we have Oath of Loyalty Beyond the Grave, Loyalty Beyond the Grave. There you go, and then Sink Below. So Loyalty is really good in matchups where you. So I see this card really weirdly. So it blocks for 3, which is just basically any other block 3 in the deck. It is a defense reaction, so it does have that added effect. But why I think this is so good in Fi is because your ability to play one turn really big is really good with Loyalty Beyond the Grave, because you can kind of play this defensive style with D-Reacts and all these 3 blocks, and then on that turn where you're able to keep 5 cards, your Tunic's up, you still have links so you can go get your Lava Burst, you're able to Loyalty Beyond the Grave, banish 2, and then draw a 6th card. So having 6 cards with Spreading Flames is guaranteed to be like a lethal turn. So that's why this is in the deck, because it kind of goes into the game plan of just playing super patient and then kind of waiting for that one really big Lava Burst turn. And then this gets you that 6th card, or if you get disrupted, this gets you the extra card to kind of get your chain link going. So just be super patient with Loyalty Beyond the Grave. It can definitely make your really good turns into insane turns if you're super patient and waiting for that monumental turn where they don't CNC you, they don't erase face you. You get to keep everything. You have your Tunic counter. Boom, you just blow them up with an extra card. So pretty cool, the react. And it's super bad by itself, but with the effect of Fi and having that one really big burst turn with links, it definitely merits having this in the deck. So I probably wouldn't play this in any fast matchups, just because it can be pretty RNG. Like you might only draw 1, and then you don't get to see the other one for the rest of the game. So innately doesn't always have value, but if you're playing kind of a mid-range game where you're playing a little bit slower, I would play Loyalty Beyond the Grave. It's pretty insane. The extra Phoenix Flame is there for Flamecall Awakening, just in case it gets banished, or we need an extra one to recur with Flamecall Awakening. And then we have Sink Below. I do Sink Below over Wax On, because I think hand filtering in aggro decks is a little bit better than just the 0 for 5. If I played Wax Off as a blue, could definitely see myself playing Wax On, Wax Off. But because I don't play Wax Off and I use the 0 for 2s that trigger Shuko, I only use Sink Below because it allows me to filter. And it's just another really good D-React. Unfortunately, don't play Shelter either, because I think the filtering matters a little bit more than the damage prevention. Just because if Fi is able to, sink a card and get a blue or get a starter, it really turns on this turn a lot more. So if you have like no starters and you Sink Below into a starter, it could turn like your 4 damage turn into like a 15 damage turn, which is insane. So the merits of Sink Below is a little bit higher than all the others. At least all the other defensive tools. And lastly, we have Warmongers. It's just another blue for, if you need it for ice. But I really like it against Viserai and Azalea. It's kind of like that thing where you do a bunch of damage and then you end on it. So, like, they take, 15 damage, 20 damage, and then they're ready to crack back with their insane hand. And you play Warmongers, and they're just like, wow, I just took 20 damage to basically do 0 because I got Warmongers. So, definitely an insane card and warrants running, and it's easily slotted into 5 because it just replaces, Nasty Surprise and Brand, 1 Brand if you ever need to play it. And it blocks 3. So, it's just overall really good, and you never get affected by it from Fi. If you draw another one, fine, you could just block with it or use it as a pitch card. But there is no other non-attacks in the deck. Everything else is an attack action card. So that's why we don't play Rise from the Ashes as well, because it can break on a Warmonger's turn. So everything else is a Draconic Chain Link that can attack, so we're not affected in the case that we ever need to play this card. Sweet, awesome. So that is basically the whole deck. There are some maybe cards. I think I put down there. Yes. So there's a lot of maybe cards. Let me take another drink of water. Jeez. So there's some maybe cards in this deck. I originally had this deck kind of like a Cindra clone with Art of Dragon Fire. I don't necessarily think Art of Dragon Fire is good in this deck, just because you're struggling to make fealty as compared to Cindra. Because Cindra's ability basically always gives you a fealty for hitting a marked hero, whereas Fire does not. So your only way of making fealty is through display loyalty. So being able to use that one Draconic token that you make is really powerful, and making sure that you use it at the correct spots is always super important. So being able to convert it to 2 damage is not crazy good, but there's just, with this in the deck and Art of Dragon Blood, there's just too many fealty kind of targets in the deck that innately don't work well with how Fi makes them. So that's why Art of Dragon Fire is not in the deck. CNC could be very good if you're looking to destroy Arsenal. So if you're playing against a lot of Azaleas, this would definitely be a slot in. But I think it's just too costly to play. Fi does have the blues to support it, but his cost curve works so well with Emberblade that you kind of want the consistency of Emberblade to swing every turn, and then hit him with a more debilitating on hit that you can cheat resources with, like Breaking Point or Warmongers. Next is Demonstrate Devotion. This is another fealty maker. This is kind of basically display loyalty, but the 1-for-4 instead of the 0-for-3. I don't play this one because I found that I needed more starters in the deck, and then drawing this with like a bunch of reds isn't as good because you have to pitch another red to play this card. So it can definitely be very costly. It can be good with the resource cheating from like Ignite and stuff, but I feel like I'm already kind of using up all those slots with Breaking Point, Sensor, so you don't want too many 1-cost in the deck. Otherwise, it can get definitely kind of awkward. Flame Call, I basically don't play the third one because I only have 1 extra Phoenix Flame. If I played all 3 Phoenix Flames, I would probably play 3 Flame Call Awakening. Hunt to the Ends of Wraith. If your meta is full of dirty assassin players, you can play this card. And attack Arachne, 0-for-4, go again. The mark doesn't really matter, I guess, because you don't make a fealty, but it is a 0-for-4, go again, like Oath of Loyalty, that is not held back by any means. So, and Ailey has go again as well, so it can definitely be very powerful. It also triggers Shuko. So if it's not +2 from Arachne, you can still trigger Shuko, which is insane. Wait, does Shuko say... Two less base each turn. Okay, so yeah, so this triggers Shuko no matter what. So even if this is 4, your Phoenix Flame later will be 2, or your Lava Burst later will be 6. So it works no matter what with the 2 base Hunt to the Ends of Wraith. Lava Vein Loyalty, the classic Dap Up. I love this card so much. Probably one of my favorite arts in Uprising of all time. Do you need a warm body to test this against? I might hit you up later. After this, we go over this maybe section. I might be down to play Gage. So we have the Lava Vein Loyalty. I'd also, Hot on Their Heels is basically this with text, like additional mark text. But it's just a 0-for-3 go again. There's just no space for this card, I think. Maybe you could add it if you need more consistent chain links. But I think with how tight the deck list is, with the current deck construction, I think there's just no space for a 0-for-3 that blocks 3, unfortunately. This could be good, but you don't make fealty as often, so March of Loyalty isn't as good because you're not often making this. This is only really good on the turns where you play Display Loyalty, so not that great. As we said before, we don't play Rise from the Ashes because of Warmongers. Because we play multiple Phoenix Flames, this could be very good because it can be a 0-for-4. But because we play Warmongers, it works against us a lot often, more than not. So we don't play this one. And lastly, we have the Last Nasty Surprise. This can be, moved out if you want to exchange the blues in any way, or work around with the blues. I would definitely say that Rally Locals is a must, and then any other blues depends on your deck construction. So if you play Flick Flack, more of the combo cards. If you don't play Flick Flack, play more of these generic cards that do funny stuff. But yeah, we'll basically get right into it. Trying to try out the deck, see what it can do. Maybe we'll hit up Gage here for a game. And then yeah, let's get right into Talishar. Give me 1 second here. Also, this deck can be very cheap to build too. It's all Draconic Go-Agains. It's kind of like a mech deck, like super easy to build. A lot of Fives cards are common too, so it's pretty cool to start as this deck as your first deck. Unfortunately, there is no armory deck for Fives, so that's kind of the hurt of it. But hopefully soon we can find one of those armory decks. Maybe they don't make one for him because he's so close to LL. But he's such a cool, simple hero. I always I work at a card shop, so I always recommend Fi to new players because it's so simple and easy to know, so easy to learn. Gage, if you're here, I'm gonna send you a link through Discord. We'll play a couple games and then try to get some like other heroes as well. But let's head in. You have the advantage of knowing that you're playing against Fi, so feel free to play any class, my friend. And get some games in here. Set up some stuff. Sorry. I do in fact need a warm body. Hopefully you are a warm body. I'll just leave on the auto. Yeah, no problem, man. Do whatever you want. I'll be talking like from hand to hand as well, so if you feel like you don't want to hear me, feel free to mute. But I'll just be going over play lines and whatnot. Music might be a little bit loud because my headphones are off. There we go. Sweet. Alright. Got some music playing. I will mute to maintain equal fights. Thank you, man. Thank you for being filled with integrity. So against Viscerai, they will go first. So we get to be going second. So we have the first turn of tempo, which can be very good in Fi. So since we're going second, I'm going to go ahead and use Tide Flippers here, just so that we don't leak any arcane damage turn 0. If you're going first, there is merit to just playing Dragon Scale of Flight Path, but I think Tunic will always be your choice in this regard. We definitely want to play Warmongers against this deck. And then against this deck, usually they're playing Face Purgatory or Crown of Providence. So Breaking Point might not be always super good. You definitely don't want to play D-Reacts against more Viscerai, just because of their ability to kind of do off turns, and if they ever like do a setup turn, you can't kind of fully convert your hand with a D-React in hand. So you want to make the combo, you want to draw as many aggressive cards as you can, always. So we're going to go ahead and play Censor, because we can name Morgitide. It's one of those easy names, Revelant Moonblood or Morgitide. Then we play the combo just to get a little bit more aggro into the deck. I don't think we'll be blocking very much, so we're going to play Flame Call over E-Strike. Alright, we're going second. Good luck to everyone. We draw the Phoenix Flame right away, so hopefully they hit us and we get to AB. Making a rune chance and pass it. So here's a pretty cool play. We can do... we can play Ignite first, and then now Spreading Flames costs 0. I'm going to turn off Links because I don't think I'll be using it this turn. Just because we're able to convert both Phoenix Flames here. Sweet. So Fi is just a bunch of head jabs, doing a bunch of damage. And this Ronin Renegade would be for 4. But I think it's a little bit more worth it to have a starter in your arsenal, just to guarantee the ability to kind of start the chain off. So we have a Lava Burst here. So with this all red hand, we're basically being shoehorned into not blocking any arcane at all. So we are going to be a little bit weak to succumb to temptation here. I think this should be 4 go again. Yep. Alright, we don't have a lot of blocks. He can play Succumb here. Yes. Unfortunately, he plays Succumb. So he's probably going to make us banish a card. Is it banish or discard? It's just discard. Okay. Imagine they look at their hand and they just discard your Nasty Surprise. That would be so funny. No Salt the Wound. No, how about Devotion Never Dies? So for both, I think Salt the Wound could make its way into the list, but it's innately not a Draconic card. It can be like a one-of in the deck if you think you need it for some sort of turn to end it where they're not blocking very much and you get the Salt the Wound very big at the end. So I think a 1-of could merit it, but it's also a yellow cost and not Draconic. So if you play Oath of Loyalty, it doesn't work at the end, and you can't use links off the Oath of Loyalty turn. So there is some anti-synergy there, but I definitely see it as a very good card. I think it can work in the deck. Just, I think right now, the deck is built with all Draconic, just to kind of make it a little bit more, I guess, consistent. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word for some reason. I'm going to go ahead and block 3. He just played Revel, so he's going to lose all of his rune chance, but he uses all the rune chance anyway. So this is a pretty cool hand. This is a pretty cool hand where we can hit, if we hit with Rising Resentment, we can banish the Soaring Strike. Now Soaring Strike is free. And then for Devotion Never Dies, it gets most of its value off being Draconic. So I don't think it's very much worth it because we have we're already struggling for fealty because we're only running the one that gets a fealty if it's the second chain link or higher. So with that in mind, we kind of have to think about ways to make fealty and our struggle for fealty. So making sure that our fealty targets go towards something that's really good is always super important. So this one is when this hits a hero, discard a card. Pretty good. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? If I get hit with this, I can I can discard Nasty Surprise. Is that based? It kind of ruins my turn though, because I don't have another blue. I do have Tunic though, so I could do something like time to get nasty. I could do something like if I discard Nasty Surprise, I can Mounting Anger, Rising Resentment into Censor, and then keep my Soaring Strike. But I have to use Tunic, and then keeping Soaring Strike with no cost is not that good. We're also not going to be taking some damage too. It might be better just to block. Now I'm thinking about it. I do want to kind of keep Censor so that we can hit his Mordred here. That feels very important. Man, this is a tough call. I think we'll take it. I mean, why is it in the deck, right? I think the best line might be it. So what we're going to do actually is do this here. So we're going to discard Nasty Surprise, and then that way we get all 3 of the tokens. Oh, is it because I control it? When its opponent effect puts this in the graveyard from anywhere. Oh, it doesn't work like that. Whoops. Oof. Alright, my bad, guys. My bad. I thought it has to be an opponent's effect. Which is so weird, because it is an opponent's effect, but I'm choosing the card. So maybe it's not an opponent's effect, but like... What? So it doesn't work off Pummel, I guess, right? Because if they do... Maybe it's not coded well on Talishire, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to work. Awkward. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I think Talishire bug. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a Talishire bug. Now that that's not available, the next best line would probably be discarding Mounting Anger, which sucks. So we're still going to take it. I'm almost positive Nasty Surprise triggers even when you choose to discard it. Yeah, it should. I'm not sure why it didn't, unfortunately. Alright, so we're going to go with this play instead. Sucks that we have to lose out on Mounting Anger, but we'll get to keep our Tunic after this play, I think, unless they block the Rising Resentment well. So for 4, they could block with Purgatory here, in which case we could just discard the Rising Resentment. Yeah, it just seems like a pretty... Seems like a bug. Seems like a bug. So this is pretty cool. They end up not blocking, which is, I think, pretty bad for them. So this is why Rising Resentment can be very cool. You can go ahead and trigger off Censor. So now they know that I have a sensor. We're going to go ahead and swing Ember Blade. So we get to do the Phoenix Flame stuff. So we'll trigger this. We don't unfortunately get to play. And we'll play our good old sensor. So here we're probably going to choose Mordred. There's reasons to do Succumb to Temptation as well, but I think this is going to be a little bit better in terms of not absolutely destroying us. And then we draw like shit. So good thing we didn't. We chose Mordred. This is one of those hands where you definitely want to block. Okay. If you dealt arcane damage, this gets go again. So we will go ahead and AV3. So this won't have go again. Thanks for reporting the bug. Cool, cool, cool. So we don't want to let them have an extra rune chant. So maybe we probably block the Shuko here, and then hit him with Blaze and then Arsenal Lava Burst. That could be pretty good play. So we for sure block like that. Probably give up the Shuko here, and just go ahead and be content with this. We deny one more rune chant being made, so Shuko block could definitely be worth 3 there. Actually, I don't think that play was. It's weird to say. No discard. So now we just hope that they don't kill us, and we should be good to go. Hey, this is not Riptide. Unfortunately, it is not, my friend. We are playing some Phi Rising Rebellion. I can't play Riptide every week. I mean, otherwise, it would be too broken. It would be too broken because people will now know about Riptide, and now they will be... wow, that's good. Okay, how do we play this turn knowing that? If the high speed sees becoming just you wait. It's pretty funny. The question is, do I block 6 here? I could. I'm okay with blocking 6 here, I think. So what we could do is we block 6 here. We could play Ignite. There's the Rebel. Into a second Amplify. Nice, that's a nasty turn. So we have to skip all the rune chants, unfortunately. So he does lose all the rune chants. I think we're okay just blocking and then resetting again. It does suck because he does take our hand, but there's not much we can do about it, unfortunately. A Succumb turn with double Amplify is just too much for us to take there. So we have to kind of roll with the punches. What do he get? So he adds a Rune Rager to his hand. He showed a Succumb, so we know that the Succumb is here and here. So we know that he doesn't have a Succumb this turn. So we can go ahead and operate under the fact that he will not have the ability to Succumb us. No succumbing to temptation here. We can take this one. We'll be okay. I think he's already reveled as well twice, so the chances of reveling again are pretty rough. Man, I can't wait till Viscera is gone. This deck's so crazy. No blocks here again. This sucks. Okay, so here it's for 4, so it is lethal. We can use Tunic here. To block 1 and 1. I think it's worth it. 1. We'll block 1 again. This I can't fast enough. The high seas becoming just you wait. I can't wait, man. High seas is gonna be so much fun. High seas is gonna be so much fun because of the fact that Pirate Riptide might be available, dude. Oh my god, if Pirate Riptide becomes good, it's going to be insane. Like, he's the most piratey card out there, right? He's the most current pirate card that we have. So, let's see. This is a very weird turn. So, we can discard Art of Dragon Blood. In that regard, if we do that, we won't be able to Lava Burst. So you will draw a card here. I think we're going to have to discard Art of Dragon Blood because we kept this in hand mostly because of the Brand of Cinderclaw. But now that we have to discard this card, it's not as good anymore. And we don't have a fealty to turn it on, unfortunately, because we had to full block last turn with our display. So next we'll probably do Brand of Cinderclaw for 1. He'll probably be using equipment here to full block. He does not. So we're going to go ahead and break links. Yes, we'll go get Lava Burst. So we get a double Lava Burst here, which is super cool. So we'll do 3 here. He's probably going to try to keep as many cards as he can to be able to kill us. Here's 3. We'll 5 here. It's an extra 1 damage. Sorry, 2 damage because of Spreading Flames. Misspoke. Alright, so he has all armor gone. This is going to be for lethal 6, so he has to give us at least 2 cards. He does have his Spellbound Creepers up, but our ability to Tide Flippers here and then go Lava Burst again will be pretty insane. Pretty nuts, pretty nuts. Our Spreading Flames going ham. Can we have sequenced it any way differently? Probably not. Yeah, that was the most damage we can get from Spreading Flames there, I think. If he didn't draw... Okay, so he's going to 2. Even if we have AB up and we draw 4 reds, if he's able to keep his hand here and convert, it will still be really bad for us. So we have to pressure him enough to get here. So we're going to Lava Burst again. If he has 2 blocks, he has to give us both. If he has 1 3 block, he can just give us 3 block and then use the 1 card in hand to try to get there. But hopefully this is enough. Vexing Malice, cool. So he could have, he's probably another blue in hand that he kept, because he could just make a Rune Chant and Vexing Malice here, is the play that probably he originally wanted to make. That's a pretty good hand. So here it swings in for 3. So here if we block with... So the most damage we could do is if we block with Display Loyalty, because we can do Oath of Loyalty into Brand of Cinderclaw into Fire Tenant Strike and then Phoenix Flame after is the most damage we could do. So that's probably pretty good. So we'll go ahead and do that. So it's 1-1. If you play Sigil of Suffering, so be it, right? This way we do 3 into 3 into 2. And we force them to give us all their cards. Surely no Sigil? Hey man, one can hope, right? One can hope. Surely they draw some 2 blocks here. No 2 blocks. Maybe this is a 2 block. Give me the last card. So they drew 3 blocks, so they live. We'll go up here. This is an unfortunate hand here. I think it has to be Oath into Soaring Strike here. It probably is Oath into Soaring Strike. And then we can win with Phoenix Flame if they don't have the combo here. Cool, we win with Phoenix Flame. Phoenix Flame for 1. Nice. We were able to win that game. Yeah, Viscera is definitely not the craziest good matchup just because you don't have a lot of blues. Or like, you don't have blues. You want to keep your blues because they empower your turn. You don't want to use your blues as a way to defend. And obviously it's an aggro deck, so you don't really want to defend ever. But Viscera is definitely a tough matchup, especially you saw that one turn with Succumb into Amplify the Arc Knight, Revel, Amplify again. Those are turns where you just have to block out. There's no way you keep cards in that regard, or just like let them choose your best cards, because you just lose every time. So you have to block out, reset. Hopefully you draw a good enough hand to like, kind of pop off again. We can go again one more time, Gage, if you want to showcase Viscera one more time. But yes, very GG that game. That was a really close game. I used everything. Need a new link? Okay, all good. Let's do it. I'll make a new one. What did I do? Oh. You grab the deck link one more time. And I'll repost the deck link right now in the chat. So if anyone wants to go ahead and play it or check it out, that's the deck link right there. Yes, let me send you another link, Gage. As always, guys, any decks that I showcase here on stream are always completely free and no cost whatsoever to try out for yourself. I felt the power of the Runeblade hand in the last 3 rounds. Yes, sometimes those Runeblade hands can be killer. That one time we had Meet and Greet as well. Lucky enough, I had the blue to stop the go again, so that was really pivotal. So against Viscera, let's okay. I thought you wanted to switch heroes, but I think we can play Viscera again. It's fine. So this game, I think we're gonna try Dragon Scale of Flight Path. Because we're gonna go first, they don't get to leak any damage turn 0, and we get to set up with Tunic for going first too, so that's pretty insane. I'll swap next round. Sure. However you want to do it. Sweet. Let's go with this hand. What I like doing sometimes is I'll switch out Rowdy Locals for another card too. In this scenario, I think we kept the extra blues for utility, but maybe we try out, like, instead of 2 blues, you run 2 breaking points instead. There's a lot of versatility with the deck, so you can definitely switch it around if you like. Alright, we're going to try No AB going first. That is a pretty good hand. Let's do it. I think we just turn 0 Warmongers. So they just choose peace, and that should be okay for us. We get a lot of time to set up too. So we're going to go ahead and choose war because we can. We'll go ahead and arsenal with Ignite. And we're off to the races. Okay, so this turn we can do something like Ignite into Flame Call. Pretty good peace turn here. They ping me for 1, I think. Yes, because they revealed. Oh yeah, they picked. Okay, I was like, why did it prompt? But I don't have a B, so that's why it didn't prompt. We'll go ahead and swing with Ignite. No links here. We're fine. We'll go ahead and get our Phoenix Flame. So we know that this Phoenix Flame will swing for 2 because of Shuko. So we want to manipulate it to where these Phoenix Flames are coming in for 2, and they're really hard to block. And then we'll play Fire Attendant right here. And we get to Arsenal Art of Dragon Blood as well. We're not going to pop Shuko. This Phoenix Flame will also come in for 2. And these are just like really awkward breakpoints to block here. All of our Phoenix Flames are all of our low cost attacks came in for 2 there, which is really good. And it's really hard to block without giving up armor, efficiently at least. And then Lava Burst comes in for 5, another really good break point. Feels like you're wasting value if you block with 3 blocks here. No, we'll go ahead and Arsenal Art of Dragon Blood. Ooh, awkward hand. So what we could do, this seems like a blocking hand here. So what we could do here is just block up. So we're going to block with the breaking point. We can send the 0 for 4 and then Arsenal probably one of these critical Onyx. I don't think he makes a rune chain. So we could destroy his Malefic here, but I don't think it's worth it to find out, unfortunately. It is tough not keeping Lava Burst. I think we will keep Lava Burst. just because Lava Burst is the most above rate card in our deck. No blocks. Very cool. So that makes me think that they do in fact have whatchamacallit. Why am I blanking on the name right now? Such comes with temptation. So it could be pretty good to bait out here. Just because if we bait it out here, they could not have it for next turn, which means that we get to play our Lava Burst turn unprovoked. So I think we test the waters here with a 2-block and see if they play Succumb. They do not play Succumb, so no Succumb means that I could probably play out my turn as normal. Not having a B here will definitely suck, but I think with going first, the merits of it is just being able to get to go super fast. Cool, no arcane for me. So this has to go again no matter what. And he could swing with the rune chant after. So we're going to go ahead and block 4. We want to be able to swing a Blaze headlong after. Oof, this is such a good turn here. So we will not swing, and we will just simply block. They get to swing for 4 more here. We just got to take it on the chin. Alright. The thing with Runeblade is they can definitely draw bad hands, so we're just happy full blocking sometimes. Oof, another not great card. Okay, so if we keep one of the sensors, we'll be able to Lava Burst after censoring. Wow, really bad turn. They sonated for a bajillion, and it didn't matter. Runeblade hands, Runeblade hands. So that's probably why Viscera hasn't retired yet, guys. They draw Runeblade hands like that. Woo! Runeblade, although so powerful, can crumble at a simple draw of 4 cards, which is pretty insane. That was Runeblade deck, yeah. No banish on this one. Go ahead and do Brand of Cinderclaw. In this scenario, I really like using no Tunic here. It's pretty good. So we do this. Kind of telegraphs an attack after this, but I think us baiting out a Phase Purgatory here could be pretty good for us. We'll give it a go again. And then we'll Lava Burst. Oh, whoops, sorry. We definitely want to get the Shuko value here too. Forgot to do that. So forcing out a block and then also censoring, forcing out a block with censor, and then also Lava Bursting is pretty insane. And that's like how good the Dragon Scale of Fight path can be. It can block 1 on a pretty critical on hit, and then also do that, which is pretty insane. Cool. Just coming in for 1. So just in case this is a come, we're gonna go ahead and block 1. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and lead with Soaring Strike for 4. So a combination of just Viscera not having great hands here. We're also just threatening so much pressure. It's pretty insane. So I have 2 Phoenix Flames here. So there's some pretty cool combo you can do here. If any of these hit, we can play Brand with Cinderclaw. We can do Ignite and then Links for Ignite. So that could be a pretty good play. I think we're gonna do this for sure. So we play around the Phase Purgatory. We will go get a card off this. We could go get our last Lava Burst here and just be content with it. Or we can go get Ignite so that we could do 2 and 5 anyway off our arsenal. I think innately it's just always going to be good to Lava Burst. Yeah, he's going to have to full block anyway, so Sensor will be definitely a lot better on hands where he doesn't want to block. So I'm going to go ahead and swing Ember Blade. And we could use the fealty too for if we draw Art of Dragon Blood here too. If we didn't have the Lava Burst too, Ignite would have been a really cool way to play around it, I think. Lava Burst for 5. They take 5. So Sensor wasn't as good, but now we are rewarded by keeping it, so we can use Art of Dragon Blood. Even if Art of Dragon Blood is not necessarily too good here because you can't play Sensor at the end. So I think our turn will be actually this Oath of Loyalty, Display Loyalty, swing Ember Blade, Phoenix Flame, and then swing Sensor for 5. And if they ever use their Face Purgatory, we can discard the Dragon Blood. So here, we actually get to do both if they let us keep the card. So this Ember Blade for 3. If they don't, okay, they do block here. It's fine. So we played around it perfectly. Go ahead and fly. Come in for 1, I believe. And then they have to block this last one. Sensor. So they die here because they have no more blocking equipment. Good games. Yeah, 5s are a very fast deck. So, like, if your opponent doesn't find the sauce, so if they don't find the sauce and they have some, like, mediocre turns, like we saw there, 5's pressure is just insane. Being able to convert all 5 cards, 4 cards into so much damage is pretty insane. Sensor looking great. Yeah, I agree. I think the cost curve of 1 for 5 is a lot better than 2 for 6. So being able to play off the cost curve of, like, 0, 0, 3 with Ember Blade, Phoenix Flame, and then 1 for 5 is really key. Bro, I got Sonated. Yeah, unfortunately you did, my friend. The Runeblade hands came to hurt. All right, let's. Oh, forgot the deck. Thank you for the games, Gage. We're gonna go ahead and try to find some other decks too. If you have another deck queued up, we can definitely play again. But I saw an opportunity to play against Verdance there, so it could be a good game. I think Verdance is one of the new hotnesses of the meta because of Majin Bay, Arthur Trehey. They're playing Verdance, so it's a very up and coming deck too. So I would definitely wanted to play against it to try it out. I'm gonna play one game against Verdance, and then I might hit you back up, Gage. But thank you for the game. We definitely want to play AB into Verdance here, and then we want to be able to just dish out as much damage as we can. Sensor doesn't matter as much, I think, because of maybe it does matter because of the Felling of the Crown stuff. So maybe we play like that. I'm always around. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. We're going to play our fastest 60, and let's hope we get there. Cool. Cool. So we really like this hand. I really like this hand, so I'm going to go ahead and pass. Ooh, it's a heal. Okay, so I'm already thinking that if we do 2 here, 3 here, 4 here, breaking point, we can keep our Phoenix Flame for next turn. Or we can just push the damage. I think we just push the damage now that we know that he just discarded a card to block. And we'll keep the Phoenix Flame for next turn. So we can hit him for 4 into 2 into breaking point. He does get free decompose, I think, is pretty good. No, we don't want to break links just yet. He does get a free decompose, or like he does have no targets for decompose now, so that's pretty rough. But I think it'll be fine. There's one of his root bounds. Doesn't get to decompose with it, which is really good for us. And then we'll go ahead and breaking point for free because of ignites. So they take 4 damage on the first turn, which is super good. Off the heal 2. I think we were content with just ending up with that hand anyway, so being able to convert 4 damage and get a Phoenix Flame for next turn is pretty good, especially if we draw Spreading Flames. We can get the +1 damage pretty easily, as Phoenix Flame is a 0 cost. Go ahead and activate Fi. This music is always so twangy. I love it. You know, as always, guys, I know it's been a big topic of debate recently that AG doesn't have cool pullover hoodies yet. So if you, like I said, every stream, if you ever see Justin around, if you ever see him on locals, if you see him traveling, I know he just went to the East Coast, hit him up, man, and tell him, hey, Anthony really needs a pullover hoodie, an Age pullover hoodie. I don't really like these zip-up jackets, man. Zip-up jackets is not my thing. It's freaking cold here in California, and I'm always going to say it, get me a pullover hoodie. He's also playing the Waning Moon version. What does this do? 1 damage? It does not, so I take it. Wow, that is quite the hand. So that's fine. We take 1. They probably Waning Moon here as well. So what's our turn looking like here? Who's to the 4? Sure. Waning Moon. So we'll do that. So, here we can swing twice with... the Phoenix Flame. So we can do 4 into 1, close the chain, play Blaze, swing Ember Blade, get it again. So we can use the same Phoenix Flame that we arsenaled last turn twice. So I think that's going to be worth it over the Censor play. I think Censor will be more worth it later on with our Tunic counter up anyway. So I think this Oath being a 0 for 4 go again is always going to be good. He does not have the Rootbound Carapace, so looks like we're doing this play. We will not trigger Mass this turn, so I'm just turning it off. Just because we already get the +2 value from playing Phoenix Flame twice. I'll play Phoenix Flame. Cool. Take 1. Much faster without having the Mask of the Pouncing Lynx thing on. Cool. I will break the chain. We'll go ahead and play Blaze Headlong because we've played a red card this turn. This will get go again. So we do 4 into 1. 4 into 1 into 3. 4 into 1, close chain, 4, 3, 2. Which is pretty good. Getting some value out of this Phoenix Flame. We basically made Phoenix Flame into a 0 for 3 because we got to play it for 1 and then recur it for 2 more. So pretty good. There's the yellow Rootbound. Cool. So he does get to decompose here. I will say, though, that Verdance definitely feels like she has on a clock sometimes. So once she gets going, it can definitely feel pretty bad to play against. Especially when the pings for 1 are coming in super hot. 3 here. Take 3, sure. I'm going to Fi here for Riot Phoenix Flame. I was about to say we're going to Fi here for Rising Rebellion, but that does not make sense. Cool. We're going to go ahead and Arsenal Censor. And we draw like this. There is the Nourishing Emptiness. Pretty good. So I think we're happy here tunicking for Spreading Flames into display, and probably pop our links here, just because our links will be 7 value instead of 6. I would say pretty much worth it. And we get to keep Censor and Arsenal. That could be pretty good. So here is a really good way for him to use Stonewall Gauntlet as well. So it could definitely be pretty good here. Maybe we don't pop the links then. I don't know. It's so hard to know. I don't think we pop the links until the very last chain anyway. So if he ends up not blocking with Stonewall Gauntlet, we can go ahead and play out our hand. Or we can go ahead and not mask him with Pouncing Links. Because I think it'll turn into 2, and if you block the Stonewall Gauntlet, it'll turn into 1, so the on-hit doesn't go through. So we'll just decide then if we want to use it or not. Another chain. So I want to choose Nourishing and then 2 Earth cards. No, we choose 3. Okay, he's trying to fast transcend. I get it. I get it. I get it. It's the Arthur Trehe list. We are displaying so much loyalty right now. Alright, so here, if they don't block with their arm piece, we can go ahead and break links. But if they do block with their arm piece, okay, they do not. So not blocking with the arm piece here is actually pretty bad, I think, just because there's probably no better target than now. And not only does it stop the links, but it also doesn't come in for 7 here. So I think that was a pretty bad block. Obviously, it didn't know my arsenal, so it could be different, but I mean, more often than not, even if it's a head jab, it's pretty good. Okay. Blocking with it now. Interesting. So this is pretty good because now we have 2 targets for fealty. Oh, we have fealty targets, so it's pretty good. Dance music is so jivey. I love it. So now the Ring of Roses is on, so that's pretty scary. Usually we don't want to use all of our fealty, but I think we have to with the hand we drew. Pretty awkward. Four and a 3 into Fire Tennis Strike here. So this Phoenix I'm coming for 2 because of Fire Tenant Strike first, and then we'll go ahead and end with another sensor. Okay, so that was a pretty good turn. We're ending with sensor, which is always super good. If we're able to guess right, it's also insanely good. So more often than not, we're just gonna guess Felling of the Crown. They block with it because they think it's gonna be Felling of the Crown. Pretty good. I like it. So we get to get all the blocks out of their hand. Censor basically negating that whole plan for Felling of the Crown too. So them knowing that I'm probably going to name it is merit in itself. So really good censor right there. Oof, this is not a great hand. So this is going to ping us twice. So the question is, do we care about getting pinged twice, or do we don't have a blue, so this is so super bad. We're trying to Mounting Anger twice, I think. Man, if we had a blue here, it would just go together so well because we could do 1-for-4s all day. But this is the downside of playing so many 1-for-4s. Sometimes you draw all of them in one hand, so it could be pretty bad. That was a big oof hand for sure. Felling, sure. Play Snatch here. No way to get the +1, unfortunately. If we had a blue, we could have. Play Snatch. Okay, so they do get a lot of trading there with the Etchings of Arcana. The Ring of Rose is really good, actually. I like it. It's very incremental. It reminds me a little bit of Riptide with the incremental damage. Okay, so we draw the Rowdy Locals. So we're probably fire, right, for the Phoenix Flame? Yeah. We probably could have kept Rowdy Locals in our hand there, but... Or in our arsenal, but I think we'd rather just get the Phoenix Flame so that combos a little bit better. Our Tunic's also on 3. Ooh, that's pretty. This is a pretty good hand. So no arcane damage here, just a full Felling of the Crown. Since we have Tunic here, how can we play this turn? So we'll put this card down. What? Oh, he probably wants to decompose differently. Since we have Tunic here, can we do another closed chain thing? Do this one, sure. Take 8. So this is pretty much where Verdance kind of turns the corner. Us just taking 8 here is pretty bad for us, but I think we need to be able to convert our hands more and more. So this is pretty important for us, I think. I guess we can't use Tunic here for 2 damaging. Oh no, it wouldn't be worth it, I don't think. So we start off with Oath. What's more worth it? Soaring Strike in our arsenal? No, I think we have to play out our hand. Unfortunately, we haven't played a Flame Call, so we haven't been able to recur to Phoenix Flames like this. But hopefully we put out enough pressure to where they're forced to block a little bit more, I guess. We could keep the Phoenix Flame in our arsenal as well. So we'll just do this. One, go again. Close the chain here. See, I don't know if closing the chain is worth it. Probably is, right? Doesn't really matter. There's no Phoenix Flame here, so we can decide depending on how he blocks too. We could Tunic here. It'll be for 3. Box with Crown. Interesting. He wants to get a 4-card hand. Is this the turn where they kind of turn the tables, as some say? Soaring Strike for free. Our hands have been pretty rough too, so pretty unfortunate. We probably want to keep Tunic because it helps translate our hands so well. So not having a Phoenix Flame is not the end of the world, I don't think. Cool. So it pays off right away. Where's this? Gain 1. Ooh, it's gonna be a bunch of damage here, I think. They played both sides. They did play both sides there. Alright, let's think about this play a little bit. So if we play Spreading Flames, the Tunic counter here wouldn't matter. This is so awkward. Oh shit. We don't want AB. Sorry, we trade more. My bad. So he's proccing both sides. I don't think I want to AB at all this turn. It's so much health gain though. Sure. Does he have the rampant growth? Okay, maybe we'll be Tunic now. I'm not even sure how much damage this is. That's a nasty combo. They heal back up. How much damage is that? MP6, sure. So we go to 7, sure. Okay, our hand still functions, fortunately. Fortunately. That's a pretty big arcane turn though. I can see how the deck really functions well when you draw like sort of the life gain together. It can definitely hurt a little bit. So we're gonna do Rising Resentment because it can present the on hits. Wow, it doesn't care about the on hit, so we will not banish. Sure. If we kept Tunic there, we actually get 1 more damage because we can 5 first. And then our Ember Blade will come in for that much. So we're going to tap out here. Maybe we die to Stormstriders. No Plume though. No Plume, so they can't go get Rampant Growth or anything. So it has to be a spell from Arsenal like Pulsing Aether. And then they have to use Waning Moon as well. So they don't. Looks like they don't have the spell in Arsenal. I'm gonna go to 1. Very nice. Cool. Overflow the Aether Well. It's gonna be 3 into 2, so it puts us at 2. Man, we're in a pretty bad spot. We don't have a way to... Yeah, we just gotta take it. Ah, it's so bad. It's so bad. You know, Roses is so good too here. That's pretty good. So he's Waning Mooning here. So I think the hope has to be that he has no arcane damage at all. Right? Like, if he has no way to manipulate it. So that's our only hope. If it doesn't happen, it happens. If he has a way to turn on Waning Moon, we're dead anyway. We had 4 reds in hand. Kind of sucks. If we had a blue there, it actually translates to a 3 block because we could block 1, 1, 1. So he's probably gonna... Wait, he doesn't have it yet. Okay. So if he doesn't have the arcane spell yet, we may be able to kill him here. So that's always going to be the way we play around it. Like, if we draw all reds, just got to force them to have the spell. They might still have it anyway, but we're going to definitely force them to have it. So we get to play Art of Dragon Blood here, which is super good. This is 4 go again, and it turns on Flame Claw Awakening. There's the Rootbound Carapace there. Sure. Having the Rootbound there is pretty clutch. Him drawing all D-Reacts is pretty funny too. Sure. So I think we might be able to get him here. If he doesn't, if he's still slow rolling the... Oh, whoops. I clicked too fast. If he's still slow rolling the spell where we were dead no matter what, maybe he's just trying to get more information out. Okay, it's looking likely. So his hand so far was the D-React and the Amp spell. So this is going to trigger Shuko. So he has to give me 1 card. And then, I guess if the last card isn't a D-React... Oh, Blue-Ray Rootbound. He is running out of cards here to decompose. So if the last card isn't a blue root bound, or isn't a red root bound or a sink below, we will win here. Short. Snatch. So if he doesn't have a 4 block here, we win, which is good. Rapid growth. Do we lose? We lose, right? Because he... Wait, no, wait. I don't know how it works. He doesn't... it's not during his turn, right? So we win. Nice. It has to be during his turn. Well played. Good game. That shows how much I know about Verdant, so... Yeah, I think it has to be during your turn. Whenever you gain health during your turn, it pings you for 1. So, unfortunately, he did not have any of the arcane spells. So, we were able to go wide enough on that last turn, barely get there. He did clutch up pretty hard having a D-React in Arsenal, but our ability to go Brand turning on the Art of the Dragon Blood, which is always super good. And then Art of the Dragon Blood turning off our cost for Flame Call Awakening allowed us to go like 6 chains wide and eventually get there. So, pretty close game. Pretty close game. Alright, let's play against a disruptive class. Never mind. Let's play against Ninja. Oh. Fjord Sweater. Let's play against another Ninja. Ninja action. I have a deck ready? Okay. Let's play then. Engage. Let me send him the... Sorry, gotta go. Alright, I'll probably play 1 or 2 more and then call it a day. But so far, the fire deck is humming. Let me go ahead and make a private room for us. Thanks for sticking with me here, Gage, and playing all these games. Much appreciated, my friend. Let's see if I can ruin that mojo. I hope. I want to see it. I want to see it. Arachne Marinette. There it is. We were going to play against Arachne anyway, so this is perfect. This is perfect. So we don't want... we want to go first because we don't want to get disrupted, I think. Or we don't want to end the turn marked. Us being able to go first, I think allows for that to happen. Just because if they roll trapdoor, us going into our first turn, we might have to block right away. Actually, no, that doesn't make sense. If I could full block to start, it's very hard because I don't want them. I want to have tempo, but I don't want them to have their first turn of being me being marked. Allow them to transform, if that makes sense. So we're going to go ahead and play Flame Scale because of the block. I think actually it's probably right to go second just to get their first turn of tempo. But this way we get a 5-card hand if they don't have any disruption. So we're going to play all of our D-Reacts. We're going to play super slow. I still don't know if Warmongers is good into Arachne. I don't know. I mean, it kind of is, and it also kind of isn't at the same time, which is kind of crazy, right? We're going to play a couple more cards just because of the threat of fatigue, but I think we're going to get there. We're going to get there with 63 in hope. We're going to play a little bit slower, a little bit more blocking, and then hopefully when we find the space to... play everything out, hopefully it helps a little bit. So Arachne... it's a pretty good hand. It is kind of counterintuitive because of Snatch. So maybe we just go for some damage turn 0. I think we go for some damage turn 0 just because we have the Snatch. If this is like a non-Draconic card or a Draconic card, I think we just Windmill Slam into Arsenal, but I think because our hand is a little bit too anti-synergistic, we just try to do some damage turn 0. The allowing of filtering is fine, I think. Sure. Using the blaze. Okay. No links here. So we get 3 damage through, which is insanely good, and we Arsenal Satch. Hunter's Clave. Go ahead and block here. Hunter's play it again. I think let's take this one. Persuasive prognosis. Block 3. No reactions, cool. So they turn into Black Widow. So this Loyalty Beyond the Grave could be pretty good in Arsenal here to counteract the +3 damage from Arachne Black Widow. Block on Saber Bloodshed, which is pretty good. I don't know about that block. Draws you a card. Maybe they already have one. Okay, this is a Take Up the Mantle if I've ever seen it. They do have a Persuasive in hand. Oh, sorry, in graveyard. It's looking like a Take Up the Mantle. How do we block if it's Take Up the Mantle? Like this. Like this. 5. Sure. Okay, I definitely should have blocked for more, but that's on me. But it's okay. So this is the banish card, sure. Yeah, I think this plays fine. This way, we don't play around 2 reactions. Maybe I should have given the Dragon Scaler for the reaction, but I think, in retrospect, obviously it's good to not give it there, but I think the correct play line would be to play around both. I'd play around 1 reaction, but unfortunately they had 2. The thing with this Arachne build is it does not have very much armor, so being able to play Snatch and they have to give 2 cards to block it, pretty good always. We're going to be at 33 even. Saber Bloodshed. 2 Kiss of Death. So what this will do, will draw them a card. I think we're okay with it. We're just gonna take some damage here, unfortunately, but we'll be able to do some damage back, I think, so it's worth it. We had to block 7 there. I don't think that's worth it. So here, we could double Lava Burst here, which is pretty insane. There, the spider. Sure. So he takes 1. Thinking about double Lava Burst. Probably not the highest value because we're able to convert our entire hand anyway. We're not going to do that. Okay. I was like, wait. Okay. I totally blanked right there. So this one, I was thinking about the Strong Strike on hit already, but I was playing it now, so that was Oath of Loyalty. So because we have, oh, never mind. We don't have the option to, so we're not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and Ember Blade. 3. 5 here. Gonna go ahead and Phoenix Flame again. Could break Mass, but we won't because we already have the Lava Burst in hand. No. So we're going to go ahead and pass back. We do have a pretty nasty hand here. This one's Banish. So it could be the Pump 3 reaction. We can play it like this. And if they end up reacting, we can sink below. Damn, it's such a waste of a sink below. Oh, this hero, man. Got my gears going. I hate this hero so much. It's so good. Maybe I should have given it more. I don't think so. I think we just play around the chance of a +3 reaction. I don't think we play around take up the mantle there. Because if we gave him Fire Block with Flame Scale first, we do deny that value. So maybe I should have thought about taking the mantle, like trading one value, but meh. I think it's the same thing. Because it would have been banished either way because of the mark. Let's see if our top card of our deck was blue. If it was blue, then we definitely should have taken it, you know. Not blue. Alright, we made the right call. Good job, everybody. Good job, everybody. Alright, if miraculously somehow we don't get disrupted by Arachne this turn, this hand is goated. That's okay. We're going to go ahead and let him have it because he has the Arachne. We can't reasonably block 6 because he's going to draw a card anyway. Pretty nuts. Hopefully it's a blue on top. One time. Man, Draconic heroes suck. They never hit the blue off that. Oh my god. Guys. Why is this hero like this, man? Why can't we have fun? So he has to do a reaction from hand. He's already reacted. He can snap dragons as well. I could block with Art of Dragon here too, but I think he only gets to take one card out of her hand. It's a tough choice. Okay, no reaction's good. Cool, cool. Ooh, I was a little worried there. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. Good read. Definitely a good read, dude. Definitely not me just hoping that you don't have it at all. See what it turns into. Oh, he does get to choose. Nice. So it does not go for that one. So we'll go ahead and banish. Yes. Lava Burst. And use the fealty. Art of Dragon Blood. There's going to be a lot of damage here. Unfortunately, our first starter wasn't Draconic, so this doesn't get +1, but it doesn't matter anyway, because Fire Tenet Strike will get the +1 innately. I think he took it, yeah. Three. So, no blocking all the way to the end. Lava Burst will come in for, it's going to be 2 and a 7, so it's going to be 9 here. Well, this is off no arsenal too, so it's pretty good. If we had a card in arsenal, definitely it's way more damage. Pretty good turn on the tempo here, forcing him to block with at least 2 cards, I think. He could give up all of his armor here and just keep everything, but it's pretty dangerous game going to 1 here too. If he doesn't give up all his blocks. Blocks with the Orb Weaver Spinneret, sure. Pass back. Pretty good hand. This isn't Riptide. I feel like everyone is just coming in and saying this isn't Riptide. So, I know, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll go ahead and take 1, I think. I'm sorry for all the people I'm letting down. I play other heroes, guys. I have to, or else I get kicked off AGE, man. I can't just play only this. So Okay, another bond. So what they could do is they could flick knives, snapdragons, and play another reaction. So if it's, let's do the math. So it's +3 from itself. So the maximum damage you could do is 9 because of if it's maximum damage you could do is 9 if it's just a Nick because it's 5 plus 3 from itself, so 8. If it's just a +3 react, then it would be just 7. Both very awkward to block. I think we play around it being 7. Lol, all love. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. It could also just be a codex play. We have one Phoenix Flame here. We don't. So the problem is, even if we just take it, if we just take it here, if he takes our mounting anger, it's pretty bad because we won't get any way to do a starter. So the best we could do on the other turn is I guess we could, right? Because what we could do is we could play Blaze Headlong, activate for 2, 1. No, we can't do that. I think we have to block here, unfortunately. There's no really good line if we don't block, because if he takes Mounting Anger, it's just so bad. Okay, I think the play is going to be blocked with these two and Shuko. And then if he has the reaction, it'll go up to 4 and then 3. So we play around that. If it's just a Nick, so be it. No just a Nick. Okay, cool. Cool, cool. So we play around the reaction. He probably keeps the reaction there. So this way, again, we're stripping 2 cards. And then he has to do it all over again. This time without any Arachne help, Arachne abilities. We're still marked, unfortunately. Ugh. Okay, so there's the shred. Hold up. Okay. Spinneret, cool. That's annoying. So if he has the reaction, it'll hit. Then we just gotta say no blocks here, unfortunately. There's the stains of the red back. Sure. I'm gonna go ahead and say no blocks, I think. Just because we can Oath of Loyalty Beyond the Grave. Do we have one already in here? We do. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. That way we can draw back up next turn. It's a red, so he's probably going to take Oath of Loyalty. Cool. And then he heals, sure. Start of the turn will banish. Oath of Loyalty's OP! It just became... Oh my god! Are we seeing this? That was possibly the best card we could draw. That is insane. That is literally the single best card that we could have drawn off a random double Oath of Loyalty. Double Loyalty Beyond the Grave banish. That is awesome. Takes 1. And we strip all of his cards here with Lava Burst. Oh my god, that was so lucky. That was literally so lucky. Like hey, that's like those are the type of plays where you gotta make to win games like this. You just gotta be super lucky to draw like that sometimes. And we draw, and right after that we draw 2 defense reactions. Sick. So we're gonna go ahead and pitch the Loyalty Beyond the Grave here. Under the trapdoor, which gets a Lair of the Spider. Nice. So we're gonna get remarked. So this turn, we're going to go ahead and do Ronin Renegade for 3. And then we're going to have a Sink Blow for our arsenal here, too. So we're going to do Ignite. So now Ignite allows us to swing Ember Blade for just one. That's pretty good stuff. Depends on how he blocks here. But we could use Dragon Scale of Flight Path here. I think we do. And then we just use the Sync Blow to Flame Scale Furnace to swing one more time, I think. So we're going to go ahead and give it go again to swing one more time. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this. Being same for 2. So for 1. Oh, I don't have Shuko anymore. Yeah, we definitely have to do this to pressure, I think. So we're going to pressure out the last card in hand again. It's Shelter. Okay. Pretty worth it, I think. Just to pressure it out. Oh. Why do we always draw such bad hands? Okay. It's not super bad. Because we can still swing for 5. But, oh man, this is an unfortunate hand here. We can't even, we don't even have a blue, so we can't even go to get like a Freak Flame to fix this hand either. We just have to swing for 5. Arachne Trapdoor. Okay. And we get to Arsenal Sync Blow. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to Breaking Point, swing the Snatch, and then we'll Arsenal Sync Blow. Dang, we lost all the tempo off a really unfortunate draw there. But being able to Arsenal Sync Below here too is pretty good. At least we didn't draw like this bricky hand without a Sync Below. Okay, full blocks is good. So he has 2 cards to come back at us with. We're going to go ahead and Arsenal this. Trapdoor is that. So I think we're okay not blocking here. What could it be? It could be Take Up the Mantle, which could be pretty bad. Take Up the Mantle would definitely be pretty devastating. If it's Take Up the Mantle, it would be +3 into Bonds, which is also +3, so 7. Let me go ahead and block it here, I think. Block 4. Okay, so we knew it was Take Up the Mantle, which is good for us. I think, maybe I miscalculated. Does it go up to 8? Let's deflect the graphene. And do it go again, sure. I'm gonna Sync Below here. Oh, I miscalculated. It's 7, not 8. Okay. Good for us. Go again. 5 into 4 here. So we don't have a 3-card hand that converts to a ton of damage. Just 9. But we're slowly whittling him down to have to block with every card. So here he has to give at least 1 card. Only has 1 card left in hand. Codex is pretty good. I think he's going to go get Leave No Witnesses. So that's pretty bad for us. Thinking here. We do have to discard, which will suck. Do we just take it? I'm pretty sure we take it, right? Because we can do Brand, Ignite, Breaking Point. Yeah, I think we just take it. What do we want to get banished? What do we want to get banished? Nasty Surprise. Unfortunately, Nasty Surprise doesn't work the way we want it to work here. If only it was Graveyard, it would have been a fucking pog. Not sure if there was a better line, I don't think. So there's no defense reaction, I don't think, in Arsenal. Yeah, miscalculating the block there on Bonds of Agony allowed us to not keep our flame skill first, so we could have just blocked out there and kept an arsenal. Or kept like an attacking arsenal. Codex again, sure. So this way we deny the codex value, which is good for us. Oh, can we survive it again is the problem. Phoenix Flame will be banished. So swing for 0, which sucks. Oh, this game's so close. These codexes are so nasty. I think we have to block to stabilize. This does protect us from that, but it's so bad. Ignite is 2. Rising Resentment is 3. Flaunting Anger. So he's down to 1 card again if we do it again. Or we can just not block. We kill him if we don't block. So we don't block here. What we can do is we can do 2. If he gets a defense reaction to it, could be pretty bad. Alright, we're not gonna block. So hope we get there, huh? So we start off with Ignites. Oh, this game is so hard. I mean, it almost came down to fatigue. Holy, it's got 4 cards left. If only we had the other Phoenix Flame. So this way we strip every card except for 1. He has 4 cards left on the next turn. So here he has to give a 3 block and his Flick Knives. If he does give the Flick Knives, it's really good for us because he can't just get automatically 1 damage anymore. So he doesn't have a D-React, which is super good for us. He has another layer card. That's interesting. Wait, is this from Graveyard? Into the Trapdoor. From your Graveyard. Okay, so you can't recur. Okay. I was wondering what that was about. I thought it was always from and so I'm going to swing 2 to give us as little information as we can. And then we'll end on Rising Resentment. I thought maybe E-Strike, then block it, but I don't know. I thought about that too, but then he gets to keep all of his cards. Okay, 1 card Persuasive is pretty good, but we're able to block this, so it's pretty good for us. I guess it doesn't really matter which one we keep. He can't flick anything. He can't flick anything if he keeps... This is his last card. So we get to do this. So here we do 3, 3, 3. And he has 1 card again. I think we ran out of my cards. I thought maybe E-Strike and block. Yeah, I just read that. Yeah, I didn't want to do that because he could just block with 2 cards and then send like hella disruption. So I took the risk of taking damage so that I would guarantee that he'd be on a 1 card play again, and he'd have to give up Flick Knives for it if he wants to go down to 1. Because I think he's out of D-Reacts, or at least shelters. We have the Phoenix Flame here. It's guaranteed win, but we do not have the Phoenix Flame, so we have to keep on playing. Our Phoenix Flame is unfortunately banished. Oh, he does have 1 D-React left. Okay, that was my fault. It's in his deck. So there's 1 card left. Is it Codex? It can't be Codex. So reasonably, he should not be able to win here. Unless his last card is a 4th Codex. Ba-da-boom, ba-da-boom. It's a mark of the funnel web. We're going to block 3. And now they have no cards left, so we get to win. Good games. Whew, that was close. Literally decked out the Arachne. Jesus. That was a good game. Whew, that was a close one. On-hit win is OP. On-hit win is always OP. On-hit death is probably the best on-hit in the game, some say. Pretty good. We were able to weather the storm through pretty good blocking, I think. I tried my best. Yeah, that was a really good game. I mean, I have to definitely respect you. So many on-hits. Rip that Phoenix. Dude, yeah. Maybe we run 2 Phoenixes for that reason. Any class you want to try against specifically? Not really. I mean, if you... I'm just gonna play one more game anyway. Actually, well, we can definitely play one more game. We can run it back on Arachne too if you want to play another assassin game. I think playing Fi against assassin is probably the worst matchup. Kano, we could have a 5-minute game if you want to for Kano too. But I think with how many assassins are running around, it's probably better for everyone if we just play more like against assassin. Just like some more prominent matches. Maybe if you could play new, or if you want to play. Run back the Arachne. Do I need to send you a new link? Sure, we can play Azuri. Azuri's fun. Yeah, that was fun. It's really weird because like this is why Fi excels against stuff like Arachne as compared to Cindra, because Cindra is kind of forced to kind of go no blocks, you know, just full steam ahead. And if the Arachne ends up finding the disruption to kind of get the space to play out his cards and make Cindra's turn pretty bad, it definitely can snowball into a pretty losing game, but Fi is able to kind of slow the game down in that way. If his hands aren't lining up, he's able to kind of block out, play E-Strike, play like a Oath of Loyalty into Swing Ember Blade into Phoenix Flame. So there's ways to get like 2 card, like 7 or 8s, in order to kind of bridge that gap and play slow. And once the Arachne gives enough space to where you think you can pop off, you're able to, like I said before in the deck tech, pop both of those Loyalty Beyond the Graves, and then now you have an extra card. You go off with a 5 or 6 card hand, and then you do a bunch of damage with links. That one play where we drew off Loyalty Beyond the Grave, we drew literally the best card ever, and it was literally Lava Burst. So we were able to do, we had a blue and a brand with Cindra Claw already, so we were able to do 3 into 3 into 1, and then Lava Burst for 5. So pretty insane draw off that one draw. Probably the best draw. All right, last game here. Slippy is a bigger threat than Mario in my opinion. Yes, I think Slippy is a much faster deck than Mario at least. But I think it's still a little bit unsolved because people are wary about like the assassin mirrors. I'm sure there is some tech that Slippy can do against the assassins to not give them the free go again and like, you know, create that sort of disadvantage. But I think Arachne's like the main purpose of Slippy is to kind of do that like unpreventable damage with like toxicity and Kiss of Death. So I can definitely see how both have their own merits. I think Marionette definitely has some merits too. It's just a super toolboxy deck. I think the randomness of it can kind of be weird, but like being able to go into trapdoor sometimes is pretty insane. All right, last game of the day. Let's see how it goes. Mario's just so much fun, yeah. And you get to do 6 different marvels. You know, not often do you get to do that. Okay, so Azuri's a little weird. So Azuri plays Shred. So Flamescale Furnace might not get the most value. It's like 2 for 6 over and over. We might be able to block once with Flamescale Furnace. Yeah, but my wallet? Yeah, true. The wallet is the main hurt in all this assassin stuff. Not the arsenal, not the hand. It is the wallet. Flamescale or Tunic? Probably always better to do Flamescale. Just because we can block out more. Okay, let's do Sync, obviously. We'll do this. Azuri isn't prone to fatigue, I don't think. But I think we run 63 anyway. They probably could. Like maybe we don't run Breaking Point because Azuri runs the what am I about to say? Azuri runs the Counter Providence. There you go. We could run Censor, so and we would always pick Isolate or Codex. We're okay with this deck. How it is. Don't want to go too high in card counts. So we do have a pretty good hand. We could just pass here to not enable the graveyard for any take up the mantle shenanigans. So we're going to go ahead and pass. I'm going to go ahead and Arsenal Rising Resentment. Not the best hand, but it is a hand. So this is one of those turns where if left unprovoked, we probably would break links right away, just because we're able to kind of get the value of everything here with sending in Lava Burst for 7. I don't think this is something we could block. Maybe we should have blocked 3 there. We're already marked though. Shakedown, sure. So we'll probably choose Spreading Flames, if I had to guess. But we're able to reset with Oath of Loyalty, and he probably knows that we have it now. Unfortunate, it was Shakedown. Vi is the hero in the game of Flesh and Blood. Connor, I don't know which Connor this is. Come on, man. Of course. Look at the Living Legend leaderboard. And then get back to me. Look at the Living Legend leaderboard and see who is up there. And then get back to me, my friend. I feel so sad, honestly. All the people that are putting this isn't Riptide is just so sad. I'm sorry, guys. I'm downright disappointed. We have to wait until Viserai retires. If Viserai retires, we will be unleashed. Dash AE on top of? Oof. You got me there. You got me there. Evan Bridges says, why aren't you playing the best Draconic Ninja? Unfortunately, I am. I am at the moment. Not only is Cindra not the best Draconic Ninja, she's not even the best ninja. She's not even the second best ninja. So we will not settle for... Oh, this is a hand. We'll probably make spiders by here, huh? Sure. Spiders by hit, so that will make everything block 2. Hunter's Glaive hit, okay. Sure. Hunter's Glaive again, sure. I'm not forced to. Interesting, interesting. So we do this. So here we threaten another ability to That's crazy because there's only 2 ninjas. True, Connor, true. There's only Vi and Katsu. Zen and Cindra do not exist at all. If you agree with me, don't say anything in the chat. Yes. We're gonna go ahead and pronounce Lava Burst. Okay, so this is a good turn to Lava Burst because we are able to... Wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. No. I don't want to use Dragon Scale of Flight Path without blocking with it first. The value in me says I have to do it this way. Maybe it was too early to Lava Burst there. Maybe we just break for Lava Burst there. If he just fulls blocks this is like not that great for us. Okay, never mind. We can do it again. Looking for a scrap. Sure. This is not on hit, so we'll just take it. So if it's a 3, let's be on the grave. Cool. We're able to get it out there. So we're able to do 4 chains wide here and Lava Burst for 6 again, which is super good. See, no one's saying anything in the chat. We all agree that Zen and the other ninja do not exist. Zen and Cindra. It is simply just a Fi and Katsu time to live. Display loyalty. We're doing so much damage. Another 6 here. Isolate and bar. Sure. We have full tempo, which is good for us. 5-10 to strike. We get to Arsenal Sink below too, so that's really good tempo for us too. I'm actually going to swing Ember Blade here, so that's 2 breakpoints of 4 instead of just 1 breakpoint of 5. Just make it awkward to block twice. Wait. Oh. Guys, don't troll like I just did. See? It's already happened. How is this not a Draconic card? Right? How is this not a Draconic card? God. I will not banish my Sink Below. I'm sorry, guys. That was a little troll. I'll clean it up. I'll clean it up. I don't even... This is straight up embarrassing. So we're actually going to block with this. Get an extra card. That is a pretty good extra card. That is a pretty good extra card. Dang, both of the loyalties this today have been insane. Display loyalty again. Do you display loyalty? Okay, so this way we can Phoenix Flame here for 2 if it hits. This Sink Below is going to stay forever in our arsenal because we're doing too much damage. Two go again. 4. Cool. Another arsenal pass. We'll do 3. So this is a pretty cool play. So what we can do is we can do 3 Ronin Renegade for 3 go again. We can Flame Call Awakening. Pitching the Sink Below since we already have one. This goes to get the Phoenix Flame, and we E-Strike for 7 with the Phoenix Flame we grab from our deck. So one of the combos of the deck already come into fruition here. I kind of want to hit him less because the Sink Below is getting stuck in our arsenal forever. This kind of sucks. But our deck is humming, so we can't stop. Probably going to get rid of the arsenal and draw a card. Nope, draws another card. Probably looking for a blue to enable like a Codex play or something. Isolate's pretty good. Our hand's not great. Block a Shuko here and then just give this. Ooh. Okay. It's pretty good. That's good. It's a pretty good turn. So that's what we do 4 3 times. So we do 4 with Blaze, 4 with Oath, and then we fealty here to make first tenant strike Draconic. Disgusting. We swing the Ember Blade for 4. Blocks with the Codex. And we swing for another 1. Slowly whittle them down. What a hand. Okay. So this is a turn where we can swing with our Ember Blade twice. Go with 1 to start. And we can swing Ember Blade twice here, which would be pretty good. I think Ember Blade twice is lethal no matter what. And I think we can just save it. This way we have to get one card from here. And then we end it with a nasty surprise! Nasty surprise for the dub. Very nice. Good games. Yeah, it's just like we were able to stop all the pretty good on hits with all of our defense reactions, and we drew pretty insane off loyalty beyond the grade 2. Good on us to draw there, and then we were able to turn on the mounting anger with the fealty from Art of Dragon Blood. So you can kind of see how the deck kind of works, where if we have a fealty and we have the Dragon Blood, we have all these 1 costs in the deck that are now 0 cost, 0 for 4s, with some sort of beneficial on hit, whether that be Soaring Strike to give Snatch or E-Strike go again, whether that's Mounting Anger to get the +1 damage, whether that's Breaking Point at the end of a chain. So pretty insane, pretty insane. Well, that was all the games I got for me today. We did pretty well. We didn't lose at all. I think we went 5-0, I think. 6-0 maybe? My hair's going crazy. Jesus. We went 6-0. We beat a couple Assassins, which I really like. I think the deck's in a good spot if it's beating Assassin. Obviously, Talishar not the end all be all, because some people play better in person. Talishar could, the prospect of playing online isn't always great too. I definitely zone out sometimes when I play online too. But pretty good showcase of what Fi can do. Honestly, I didn't think about it till now. We probably should have played a Cindra to show why Fi is good against Cindra too. But we can probably save it for another time. You guys can test it yourself. It's a good deck. Maybe Draconic Ninja overall is just OP. Like, maybe Cindra is broken and also Fi is broken. But trust me, I think Fi, with his equipment suite of links, going fast, and also Blazing Yoroi, can definitely swing you some points in that Cindra Draconic Mirror against Fi. So, thank you everyone for checking out the stream today. I really appreciate everyone coming through. As always, hope to come back probably next week or the week after that with another video or stream based off of what I'm feeling. It might be another deck tech, might be another hero, might be a hero we've already revisited like Riptide or Fi or Dash.io. But I got some RTMs this weekend. We're gonna do a draft one and a CC one. I don't know what I'm bringing yet for CC. I'm probably gonna bring. Me qualifying for my nationals for the U.S. nationals. If I qualify on Saturday with draft, it will definitely affect what I play on Sunday. If I'm not qualified yet, I will definitely be playing a little bit more of a non-anti-meta deck just to make sure I qualify. But it's gonna be a lot of fun regardless. So good luck to everyone on their RTNs this weekend. Hopefully you all do well. Feel free to let me know if you did well. If you brought this Fi deck to Road to Nationals and did really well, just let me know. DM me on Discord. You can find me in the AGE Discord if you go join our Discord. Or you can at me on Twitter or Blue Sky. I'm Real Foxman on both. So have a great day, guys. Thank you for stopping by, and hopefully we found out who the best Draconic Ninja is today. It was Fi.